What's up, YouTube? And we should be live here on the net. Wanted to talk about amorphous metals today. Very interesting stuff. I had posted a video earlier this morning, actually just like about an hour ago. I finished it. I posted a video kind of readdressing the Roswell thing. I'd always looked at this memory foil stuff from the Roswell incident. We had known that here's a picture of U.S. Air Force intelligence agent Jesse Marcel posing with some weather balloon debris, which was not the original debris. This was a fake photo op for the government. The real debris was much the debris field that he described later. Later, Jesse Marcel. I played that interview. We can grab that and bring that up in a second if we want. You can find that Jesse Marcel interview. He gave it right before he died, but later changed his story and said that the weather balloon story was a cover story and that it was not the real material that the military had recovered and confiscated. And there was all these reports from the fireman. The fireman's daughter said that he brought it home and showed her. Same with Jesse Marcel. He stopped at his house on the way back to the Air Force Base and showed it to his son Jesse Marcel Jr., who's still alive. Very interesting material, and I want to start getting some of this and doing experiments with it because I've been searching for everywhere for material that looks like this and behaves like this, and I recently saw this video that was posted by Thoisoy2 Chemical Experiments, this channel right here, and this is really fascinating stuff because look who joined the show. Say hi, Leo. So anyways, really cool stuff. The metallic glass, a material we're not ready for, is the name of his video, and it talks all about this amorphous metal and the way that it's formed, the way that they create it, and the properties that it has. And it's really, really interesting stuff. Apparently, you can buy it and order it online too. I'm gonna see if we can't get a hold of some of it, and I'm gonna send it to the lab for us to talk about. But I've since gone and done some research and found a couple DARPA-related studies to amorphous metals. Using the keyword amorphous metals. Been going through some of the literature, trying to see, what was formerly classified and what's been declassified related to this type of material and the research that's been done. So far, it's basically the material has to cool really fast at a really high rate of speed, and I have this. You can see the phase diagram for how to produce it in this one document right here. Yeah, this one on metallic glass from the University of Ljubljana. Right here, they show this graph, which was from Caltech, and that link is right here to the Caltech study. All the stuff's in the links in the descriptions below, so you guys can check out some of this stuff and read about it. But basically talks about the elastic limit and the strength. And these glass alloys have really high elastic limit and really high strength. So this is like the exact type of material that you'd want to use for the coating on a spacecraft, because it's super flexible and super durable, and it's also there's a lot of theories on what this material was and what part it played in the ship and why there was so much of that foil material around. Was it like a giant airbag? Did this ship just deploy this airbag right before it crashed, to kind of cushion or soften the landing, and it was torn apart, and that's what was thrown all across. Also, he shows that it's magnetic, it's ferromagnetic, so it can be picked up with a magnet. So I don't imagine it would have been too hard for them to go and clean up that debris field, and do a very good, thorough job of cleaning up all that material if it's magnetic, because all they'd have to do is drag a bunch of magnets across the field, and they'd pick it all up, and there'd be nothing left. So good luck to all those archaeological digs and all the people out there finding stuff, and all they're finding is tinfoil, because I've talked to Clifford Mahooty, and I've seen that video that someone posted by that other guy. I posted it recently on Twitter, by another guy who's got a bunch of artifacts. He goes out to the Roswell site and digs up stuff, trying to find, find that memory foil. But if it's metallic glass, it's all gone. They picked it up with a magnet, and they would have easily cleaned that whole site up real thoroughly. So there's no wonder that it's not around. But you guys can check this out. Oh man, I can't play back the video. I'm trying to play back the video. Maybe it's blocking me from doing this because it knows I'm live streaming. Oh, there it goes. So he talks about tinfoil. It wasn't tinfoil. It wasn't mylar. It wasn't a weather balloon. Also, like that material stretched for like a huge, huge area. He said he loaded a cart of it, and there was still more material. He loaded a whole cart. They had several truckloads it took to like clean it all. That was not a weather balloon. If it was like a whole fleet of weather balloons, because there's no way one weather balloon from Project Mogul could have left that much material. This metallic glass, I've never seen anything. I've been looking for a material like this. I'm like, this is what they described. They described materials that these were rural farmers in Roswell, New Mexico, who described these materials that did not exist or should not have existed back then. If they existed, then who made them, and where did they come from? And the more important question of where did they go when they left Roswell? Very, very, all very intriguing questions. Guys, I want to encourage everyone after this is done to go watch Dark Journalist's latest live stream on UFOs and the continuity of government program, and some of the stuff that he talks about, and that it's really, really cool stuff, man. We're bringing so many pieces of the puzzle together now, man. 2020 is truly the revelation. Shit that we've been like pieces we've been looking for and trying to figure out to put this whole piece of the puzzle together. We're really coming down to it now, and I think that they know that as well. If you look up, there's some recent activity going on that's got Dark Journalists talking about this, and I wanted to make some comments on it as well. Terrence O'Shaughnessy, who is himself an interesting pick for the head of Northcom. As anyone knows, Northcom's like the biggest, that's like the head of the military, and it's also part of the continuity of government program, the COG, that underground group that's been involved in so many of the false flag events and other events from the Kennedy assassination, which had a continuity of government bunker in Dallas that was operative and live and using and communicating on secure channels during the JFK assassination, sort of already set up. Very interesting stuff. It seems like there's a secret government within the government. And it definitely goes back to Roswell. And we know why. We had lots of rumors about that's why Kennedy was killed, and Marilyn Monroe and all that too. And now it's really starting to come full circle with the cast of characters that are really coming out of the woodwork and pulled together. Because Shaughnessy just retired, and he was just replaced by a new Northcom director. Very interesting guy. Where do I have the dude? That's not it. I got too many articles open. Where's the Van Herk? Right here. So this guy right here, Van Herk, nominated to lead Northcom. He was Lieutenant General Glenn Van Kirk, is formerly of the 509th Bomb Group. Okay, it talks about where he came from. 509th Bomb Group wingman at Whiteman Air Force Base. That's Roswell. That's the 509th Bomb Group that was out of Roswell, New Mexico. That was the most classified Air Force unit in the entire country in 1947 because they handled the atomic bomb. They're the ones that flew the atomic bomb, the Enola Gay. The aircraft that dropped the atomic bomb flew out of Roswell, and it was the 509th Bomb Group out of Roswell. And the intelligence agent for the 509th Bomb Group was Jesse Marcel during that time. So very interesting, that we have this guy coming out of the woodwork, and Dark Journalists already pointed that out. He's got there's a lot going on with this guy, and why they're bringing him out. There's going to be a lot of questions about what's going on right now and what the timing of this all is. But as far as I'm concerned, that this thing that's going on with TTSA and their metamaterial and the stuff that they're showing off, I've always said that, I don't trust this Pentagon people. There's too much CIA experience and too much counterintelligence experience on that whole panel, the whole to do with that whole TTSA thing for me to trust these guys. I just can't bring myself to trust them. Since they came out, I've said everything that they've put out, I'm going to view as disinformation, as sleight of hand by the enemy, directly from the Pentagon, to mislead people. And I definitely I could be wrong. I would love for this discussion that they're bringing about. They're saying, oh, well, people are saying, oh, they're bringing about the better discussion. I think they're discrediting the field completely to all of Congress and all of the government and all of the scientific community is really what I think is going on. And really what I want to try to do is not discredit this field. I want to bring this field into I want to attack the scientific community head on. I want to attack the establishment, it's like the modern Roman Catholic Church with their with all the false physics and all the false prophets and all the charlatans that push string theory, which makes no useful predictions, and also all the stupid waste on dark matter and chasing dark matter and stuff. I think the whole I think all of it's a scam, and especially these people that come from nowhere and become huge leaders with massive followings. Lou Elizondo just joined Twitter, this guy's got way too much counterintelligence and CIA experience for me to really get behind and trust this guy. I'm sorry, he's already got 10,000 followers. I barely just hit 2,000, and I've been, I don't know what kind of research this guy has unearthed or what he's talked about, but the stuff that I've talked about's been buried. They barely mentioned the TR3B, or they've shown it a couple times or said certain things about it and stuff. But I was the one who really, brought Ed Fouché, did the whole in-depth investigation on Ed Fouché. I had the direct access to Ed Fouché for years and stuff. And that's a whole nother story that we got to redig and bring up soon. By the way, Dan, their job's to keep your eyes looking in the wrong direction. The day after Ed Fouché died, is when that stupid John St. Clair patent with the triangular shaped craft appeared on the internet, and everyone said that was the TR3B, and it went viral. And Ed would have been rolling in his grave. We were all trying to fight it, but our voices have been censored, and then the real information doesn't get out. So all these people learn about that, that fake patent and the Biefeld-Brown effect, and they think that that's the TR3B, and it's not. It has nothing to do with the research that we dug up on the gravitokinematic effect and the drag effect of rotating masses and rotating superconductors, which go back to Bryce DeWitt and John Wheeler's work. And as John Wheeler, we're discovering that John Wheeler, John Archibald Wheeler, is he had contracts for Battelle and all these other organizations that we're digging into, and that these disinformation agents don't mention a peep about. You won't hear them mention Christopher Mellon, or you won't hear Christopher Mellon or Lou Elizondo make a peep about Battelle or any of these contractors. They don't really talk about the in-depth on Roswell. They talk about these metamaterials, but they're not. I guarantee you they won't pick up this metallic glass stuff and talk about the memory foil and the metallic glass shit, because they're disinformation, bro. They're misleading people. It's all part of the game. I can't say this enough. Anything that's out there in the mainstream that's not being censored is not telling the truth. It's the real underground researchers and the people that have been doing this, like me, for 16 years, who have education and degrees in science, and background on this, like I take my fight to skeptics. I'm constantly engaging Mick West and these other skeptics out there in debates. I'm constantly engaging those people. I want everyone to hammer Cal Korff with that friggin' new Roswell memory foil video, because he's coming out with a new thing saying it's all Project Mogul, and he's coming out with a whole new thing. This supposedly, he told me he just had an argument with Cal recently on here on Twitter, if you can find it. But I was just arguing with Cal Korff, and he's assuring me that in a couple days this whole thing's coming out about. Yeah, Chuck Wade is the other guy who had these materials. He's got all these materials, and none of them look like the memory foil. None of them look like metallic glass. That metallic glass looks more like what those witnesses described than any material I've ever seen.
Gods and gods, this, that.
And this guy's got all these these shards, dude, and that's not the stuff. But anyways, yeah, this dude Cal Korff saying he's got this Roswell expose coming out in a couple days, which is going to end the story forever. And I'm saying no, it's never going to end. It's so well timed that Cal Korff's going to come out with the story that's debunking all the Roswell stuff right after this new Northcom general who's connected to the Roswell thing from back in the day, gets put into power. There's a cover-up going on, and there's not disclosure. I don't, I almost want to put a Twitter poll on and see, how many people think this is disclosure or if it's the cover-up, because I'm swearing this is the cover-up, man. We're not gonna they got this guy Foya Boy. His name's Foya Boy. I thought he was like a real guy that filed FOIAs and stuff on Twitter. I have him blocked now, but this guy turned out to be a complete troll and a shill, and he doesn't file any FOIAs. He doesn't post any information. All he does is post TTSA stuff, and there's a whole bunch of these bots like that just are posting this TTSA crap, and then just trolling the fuck out of anyone who speaks the truth or talks about any differently or says anything about TTSA and how much of a fraud they are. But anyways, I want to get into some of the science, more of the science and stuff, because that's what a lot of my viewers are interested in. If anyone wants to call in and offer any opinions or any information or something, but you can come on. I don't know what Cal Korff, the whole gist on what Cal Korff has, but he's telling me that Roswell is going to be all over when he comes out with this new thing that he's got. Like it's basically going to debunk the whole thing. He's got, he's got the proof, and I'm sorry, but that metallic glass thing is going to really, really... TTSA is all Pentagon. Look at everyone on that list has, there's over 100 years of, Pentagon CIA experience on that list. It's a rat's nest of intelligence spooks. Why would you trust those people? They're plastered in the New York Times. They have a TV show on mainstream television. You think they're telling you the truth? You think they're legit? Who thinks five-finger full price? Who thinks TTSA is legit? Anybody? Still. In any case, novel corrosion and erosion-resistant amorphous alloy coatings. So they basically, these materials are super hard, and they're also super corrosion-resistant. They're working on putting them in as cover in power plants and reactor cores and stuff like that, places that take, boat and marine, any kind of area that takes lots of abuse. They have a very they have the highest yield strength and fracture toughness. They're way up here. They're way up here in the very top limit of strengths and materials. I wish I'd come across this earlier when I did all my stuff on super materials and whatnot. This is truly amazing stuff. There's different, so the atomic deposition, thermal spraying. So this is like the harder and harder it gets, the cooling rate. So the cooling rate the faster the cooling rate, I guess the lower the shear modulus. So arc melting, metal mold casting, ribbon or splat quenching. That's what they showed in that video. This video. the ribbon or splat casting. So where's the video where they show that? So look at this process. They have a core with an induction coil that heats this metal, and then that metal, as it melts, it drips onto a big spinning wheel, and that wheel cools it down super fast. And when it cools really fast, it cools fast, and then it can crystallize, and that creates this amorphous metal, which has really interesting properties. And this is very similar. Someone else pointed out it's similar to the material that Tom Bearden described and used in some of his stuff. And as you saw in that video too, that shows how one of the main uses of them is to build transformer cores. That they're really good for transformer cores because of the properties of the material. So definitely some interesting stuff worth looking into, and I want to get our laboratory technicians hooked up with this and experimenting with it as soon as possible. But I also talked about Roswell as that material was all, as you see, it was magnetic, so they could have easily gathered it all up and got it out of there. Of course, where was it moved to after Roswell, New Mexico? It was shipped to Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. I think they have a material command there. I don't know. Was it the materials command? Yeah, so the material command headquarters was in Ohio. So they shipped it there, and then it disappeared, and they don't know where it went. Now, it's got to be somewhere near Ohio, I would say, somewhere near Wright-Patterson. So where's Wright-Patterson Air Force Base is right here. Let me get my picture out of here, put it up in that corner so we can see. Boom. So here's Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. That's Dayton, Ohio. And so it's right here in Dayton, and right outside of Dayton, Ohio is where that material was moved to. And then I believe Battelle's headquarters is in Columbus, which is only... that was measure distance. All right, so that distance is about 55, 60 miles, about 60 miles by road. And Battelle is in downtown Columbus. It's been there for, let me see if I find Battelle. That's their headquarters anyway. So, yeah, there's Battelle West, there's a Jefferson office, there's Battelle here, there's Battelle here, and then there's Battelle here. The Battelle Riverfront Park, but this is, I think, the real Battelle Memorial Institute right here, right? That's a big place. So Columbus Collaboratory. I don't know. Maybe it went here, but the thing is that Battelle is a private institute. It's also outside of government jurisdiction. And look at this. There's the helicopter. There's a big Huey right there, like an old one built into this thing. This is kind of crazy stuff, man. It's like they flew the Roswell material and they just have it there. Looking, I don't know. There's something going on with this company and this whole place, because they're unreachable by FOIA because it's a private institute. They manage our national labs. There's so much weird stuff going on with this deep state connection. And then when we look up Battelle too, I had mentioned that they also had patented a nanothermite or thermite demolition charge, a linear shape charge, which could cut beams with high efficiency at 40 without a lot of noise. Weird stuff, man. I wish to God these pictures of the real Roswell thing come out, man, and and we can actually find something. But anyways, it's definitely some real deep state stuff. And then TTSA are deep state. They are all pretty much CIA. Chris Mellon is a billionaire and connected to the Mellon family. Um, these people are pretty much Illuminati, all like 100%. Um, I don't think they're in this for disclosure at all. I really don't. These people would gain nothing from disclosure. If you look at it, these are the people that don't want disclosure. If you really look into who they are, so why would they? You know, I don't know. I just see as this conversation starts happening more and more with senators and government people about this UFO conversation. It's going to be about. It's all about this Nimitz stuff now and this Tic Tac thing. And what if the whole thing's a fraud? Now, what are these kind of people think when in 2 years when I try to tell them about the Roswell memory foil and metallic glass and all this other stuff? They're gonna laugh it out the room, man, and it's all because these people that won't want to post, the opening day that TTSA launched, right? TTSA birthday balloon, right? That UFO that they showed right on the screen, they could have had better, they could have a million pictures that they could have showed for that, first day, but that first thing they showed a #1 party balloon, a silver party balloon. It's an obvious silver party balloon by Steve Merritt, taken in Manchester, UK. That was the video that they used, man. I swear these people are up to something very shady right now with everything that's going on and what's happening with this whole unidentified thing. And again, everyone to focus on this ATIP corporation, which was created by Bigelow, and it's only been around since like the 1980s. This shit goes way back, longer and way deeper than any of that, man. This stuff goes back to like the 40s. Like, why aren't these guys talking about Roswell? And then then Mick West, of course, he's been jumping all over these TTSA people and tearing them to shreds. And I haven't shared none of their stuff because I know they're disinformation. Well, I suspect I didn't know that they were disinformation. I know they are now because everything that I've thought about them has been confirmed from the lack of any kind of they do TTSA with a Q&A session with Hal Puthoff, and Hal Puthoff doesn't answer any of the questions. And like, I get open live streams, bro. I have open live streams. I have scientists call in here. I have other people call in. We talk about all kinds of stuff on here. There is no censorship on my platform. Anyone can call me right now. Skype. Jeremy the Alien Scientist, if you want to call me on Skype, man. Call me on Skype right now and bring it up. Call me on Skype and you can come on my show live and ask questions, man. I am not like... People are like, oh, you're the troll, you're the disinformation agent. Like, I've put so much of my own work into this and I've never gotten like paid shit for it. So now, warp drive propulsion. People are talking about, well, how can this relate to warp drive propulsion, right? Well, they're talking about crystals and metals and glasses. He was talking about quartz glass and one of the other properties of glasses. Glasses have another interesting property is that they're piezoelectric. Now, now, if you recall that back in February of 2019, the Navy filed for a patent on room temperature superconductor. And that room temperature superconductor used a metallic glass. It used an aluminum PZT, right? Lead zirconate titanate, coated deposition by vacuum evaporation, with a thickness of the London penetration depth after polarized after deposition. So they used this very similar method. This is the coating deposited by vacuum evaporation. So where was vacuum evaporation on that list? Atomic deposition. That would be atomic deposition. So that would be the increased toughness. That would be on this higher end scale. And then there's thermal spraying, like I was talking about, the cold spray, and some of these other thermal spraying. Thermal spraying, they really mean cold spray. There's also different temperature spray though, but there's different types of materials that they different types of manufacturing methods that they use. So anyways, very interesting stuff, but of how to create this material, but it again, these people not talking about it because they're shills for the government. John Archibald Wheeler had a lot of security clearances. He was a metallurgy expert at Princeton, and he did a lot of classified metallurgy work for Battelle during the period when they would have gotten this material. So he would have been certainly one of those types of people that was read into a lot of things, and he would have been one to know. Unfortunately, he died in 2008, so we can't ask him now. But there's also interesting talk about Howard Hughes and Werner von Braun being brought in and involved with that as well, and that may have contributed to why Howard Hughes went crazy at the end of his life, because them aliens. But in any case, hey, could be, maybe, I don't know. Very interesting stuff, and I don't dismiss it all, because but the amorphous structure, there we go, the crystalline structure, there's a difference. So the amorphous, it's like random, you know what I mean? It's completely random. So they don't have these fractured. In most metals, they have these what are called grain boundaries or diffusion boundaries, and that's where the crystallization meets these gaps, and that creates these gaps in the lattice structure. So the metallic glass is almost like it's like an aperiodic crystal, almost like a quasi-crystal, but not quite, not like multi-dimensional like a quasi-crystal. It doesn't have symmetry either. It's completely like asymmetric. So very fascinating stuff, but I'm gonna find out where we can buy some of this stuff. There's this company called Materion, and they have bulk metallic glass expertise, and they can build you high performance materials built for specific tests and different specific subjects. But I know that there's a number of people working on M drive and these thrusters. A number of researchers working on RF resonant cavity thrusters, or the quantized inertia thrusters. And of course, the metallic glass would be an ideal material to make that out of, if it will work. If we could just build it. Someone's got to be able to build this. I might start trying to build some stuff myself. Although I got to get down to that lab with Mark and do some stuff. But anyways, I want you guys to share this. Yes, and I have some experts on it. It turns out that one of my best friends, he's actually related to one of the world's foremost experts on metallic glass. So we might be able to get an interview with the world's foremost expert on metallic glass, which would be, I don't know if she's, it's hard to say the world's foremost, but she is definitely a prominent expert in the field of metallic glass, and that would be amazing to frickin' get her on. It's weird how synchronicity works like that. One of my best friends, his step niece is this woman who's a scientist, just involved with that. Oh, here we go. I just got you on audio for now.
That's cool, man.
Word.
Yeah. What's that?
Oh, yeah, just mute your other thing so we can't hear the background noise and stuff.
I turned it down. I just had to check what the delay was, which we're about at 3 seconds, and now I know.
No, man, we didn't get a chance to debrief and catch up after the last stream and the last call we had done with over there at Falcon Space. So how did things work out over there or down there at the lab?
After spending 10 days working on this Elzaphon setup and trying a variety of other things, we tested NAM's cap and unfortunately didn't receive a result. We had a steady state DC, and what we should have really had was a pulse DC. By the way, I haven't checked if I'm coming through yet, so am I actually getting through right now?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So we checked NAM's capacitor, but we checked it at DC. So he thought he was running it at DC, and then the issue was in his little gravitators, it's very much like a T.T. Brown gravitator. It's instead of being made with wax, paper, and lead plates and older materials, it was instead made of modern plastics, copper plates, and epoxy. But NAM had received results, and he actually has a video of the thing on a torsion pendulum, or two of these types of devices, spinning at a pretty fast rotation and accelerating with decent force. And so when we tested it, we got no force. But we noticed that even though he's supposed to have DC, he's running a solid-state neon sign transformer. And so naturally, the solid-state neon sign transformer does not have any kind of filtering on the input side. It's basically a switch mode controller that runs straight off line voltage that's rectified but not capacitor smooth. And so it has a natural ripple going on. So what he ends up with is a pulse power supply by accident. And because of that, he's having these constant fluctuations, and he's also using thin wires to connect to the capacitor, so they're leaking ions, which means that the voltage output of his voltage multiplier connected to the solid-state neon sign transformer, well, it gets drawn down every single time the cycle goes back from peak voltage to 0 50 times a second in Vietnam out there. So he has a 50 hertz pulse power supply that has the ability to do 35 kilovolts. And I think that's why he was getting big results out of that gravitator, and we got nothing because we just had a perfectly pure and steady-state DC.
Interesting. Yeah, that's cool.
But now we know.
But now you know, because we're working with the international teams and collaborating with people. This is how we get it done, people.
Yeah. We also tested a evacuated light bulb experiment. It was based around another YouTube video of somebody who had a thruster built of 2 light bulbs, wherein the filament, which is not heated, is connected to a high voltage source, and then aluminum plate is placed on the outside like a dome shape, so it ends up representing something close to a T.T. Brown dome shape type craft. And what's supposed to happen is, because there's this vacuum transition where electrons can freely leave at high voltages from the non-heated cathode and leap through the vacuum and hit the glass, they travel through the glass much more slowly. But when they travel through that vacuum and hit the glass, there's a sudden change in their velocity, but they still have the same effective potential because they get built up on the glass. They just move through it much more slowly because they can only move through a certain number of pathways, holes in the glass. And so that sudden momentum change of the electron produces a force or a pulse, and the entire bulb of the glass experiences a force in that same direction, directly where the momentum vector of the electrons change. At least that's my theory on how the device works. The guy who tested it did not have any such theory. He just simply hooked it up and hooked it to a high voltage power supply, and it spun. We tested that with pure DC and also didn't receive any effect, but he stated specifically in his video that it was a pulse power supply. So again, it's back down to, you need a changing electric field in order to produce these effects, just like if you're trying to do inductive magnetics, you need a changing magnetic field, otherwise you're going to get no inductance. You're not going to get an induced field. So that was basically what we did over at Falcon. Then it was 2 hours, after 10 days of working, 2 hours before I had to get back on the plane and take the flight. We pulled an all-nighter, and we finally got Elzaphon set up and tested and got some weird results. They were highly unstable, major issues with the test setup at the time. Mark's been working pretty hard to try to 3D print various jigs and fix that measurement error. Basically, the sample, which contains iron, which is hanging in a laminar magnetic field, gets pulled by the electromagnetic, and there's a torsion force on it if it's anything off of dead center. And so that was affecting our readings. In order to null them out, we needed something to keep that disk fairly center but allow it to slide up and down freely so we could still measure a change in its weight. And that's what he's been working on now. And so far, in recent tests, we didn't receive any results that were significant after the issue was fixed. But we haven't given up on it completely yet.
Right.
As far as now, I've been reading through all of T.T. Brown's stuff. I just finished notebook number 1, and I'm thinking about maybe doing a breakdown video talking about how Brown is different than the conventional idea of how people think his tech and Bounson's tech and Hill's tech worked. You got to remember, T.T. Brown and Bonson, Agnew Bonson, and Hill all work together in that same lab, and they all have their own patents that deal with MHD, EHD, and electrogravity. And they're all directly related, and they look like each other's patents. So these are super important things. It's not just Brown. And until you read through Brown's lab notes, read through all the Bonson stuff, and watch the entirety of the hour and 10-minute video of the Bonson lab video, not the little 45-minute video that's on YouTube. What's been done there is important clips, as Sean will tell you. Important pieces of that video have been snipped out, mainly the whiteboard clips that show diagrams.
Right. Yeah, the important stuff. The important stuff has been taken out. The technical info
Exactly.
That's why we have to redo the research to come up with that ourselves. It's
and that important stuff is over 25 minutes worth. That makes that video an hour 10 minutes to 45 minutes. Right. After the clip version, so there's a lot of information there.
Once again, folks, I'm talking with Jeremiah of Join the Technicians. He is the lead engineer over at Falcon Space, or ARP, the Association of Reactionless Propulsion Engineers or Enthusiasts, and that's our research group. We're trying to right now basically disprove the claims that Stephen Greer, and Michael Schratt, and others have made that the government figured anti-gravity technology out back in the 50s. And
I wouldn't agree. We're trying to disprove those claims. I think we're actually just investigating them thoroughly and taking a look into what's claimed and how it's said to be done, and if it's possible to do it. Because if we test these experiments correctly and we have a faithful replication and we use good measurement systems and account for our errors, we're going to have a pretty good idea if there's something to the tech. I mean, even if it's anomalous results that we don't understand, it's not like we're going to dismiss it.
Right.
But, yeah, we haven't seen any evidence that so far any of the tech works in the way that it's described. So maybe there's there's probably a lot more information that we just don't know. I mean, we are putzing with this stuff. It's not like we have 30 years of experience building anti-gravity technology or something.
We will someday.
Yeah, that's the idea, right?
Well, that's the idea.
We're gonna die trying.
Hey, I'd rather fail than not try at all. Because I have a feeling that we're gonna succeed. That it is possible. I believe that. I believe that. That there's got to be a way to get there. There's got to be a way to get from here to there. Well,
there is definitely a way to do that, and that way is known and understood, and it's not unconventional at all, but it requires brute force. And that is the raw electromagnetic emission method, wherein you push against your own field by just producing such an intense, incredible amount of flux traveling at a given velocity that you can push against that same flux while switching faster than the time it takes for that field to reach another point where you can push against it. So it's basically, the trouble with that system is you need to produce a very strong magnetic field, which is best done conventionally with superconductors, which we would classify as exotic materials, which aren't available to everybody and certainly are quite expensive. It would require large superconductors in continuous form, which makes it even more expensive. But if you weren't to use superconductors and you wanted to use something a little more conventional, like copper, for example, and you could cool it down with liquid nitrogen or dry ice, just something that would increase its threshold for an impulse input, where it could take the kind of current that you need to send through it. It would be possible to do it. You just need to switch the signals very, very fast. And how fast? Well, basically, imagine that you have a coil 6 foot wide, and you produce a magnetic field in this single turn coil. You have to produce that magnetic field and send such a current through that coil, which is going to be in the line of millions of amps, so that 6 feet above and below the coil, by the time the magnetic field that's produced reaches its crest and comes back to its zero crossing, where there is no magnetic flux, where it's basically cycling in its own natural capacitance versus its inductance, right? That field has to be so fast that it reaches its maximum current and is already back down to the 0 point before the field has reached farther away than the diameter of the coil. And so you're talking, many hundreds of gigahertz switching frequency at many millions of amps. And when you consider the engineering challenges involved in switching that kind of current at that kind of speed, there are only some small number of ways to do it, and most of them are natural phenomena, like, for example, lightning strikes, which, using hydrogen switches to take place of atmosphere, you can make a lightning strike much faster, a simulated lightning strike or a discharge of a capacitor into a coil, and you can conduct that current more. But even thyratrons technically are really struggling to produce the kinds of switching frequencies we need.
Yeah, exactly. And that's I think the problem that they had with that other material, that metamaterial that they gave to the U.S. Army, because they couldn't have the fast enough switching frequency, and then it gets into the terahertz gap stuff too.
Right. It's like that reported, and I know you know the report right off hand of so this military truck, I guess was a military truck with a spectrum analyzer, signal tracer truck, was out, and this UFO was apparently down and near the ground, and it was emitting some kind of gigahertz pulses at 600 hertz, and they were many gigawatts in amplitude. They were maxing out the amplitude gain of the spectrum analyzer that was measuring this thing. I don't remember exactly what this case. What, Barney and Betty Hill, I think. That case.
Oh yeah,
where
was that
the waveforms were observed. Yeah, there were pulsed microwave outputs in the gigawatt power range, and if you think about what we can do with a magnetron in a microwave oven, right? We're roughly about 1 to 2 kilowatts range, and if you talk about radar pulses, then you're in about 10 to 50 kilowatts range, and if you talk about long-range radar or other things like that, you can get into the pulse megawatt range. But to talk about 600 pulses per second of sustained energy at several gigawatts of power at that kind of frequency at many gigahertz, that's just a ridiculous amount of energy that our equipment would just die handling. Even the most advanced klystrons couldn't handle that kind of energy output.
Right. So there's got to be some other way that they're doing it and they're producing it, and it had to be produced by something that's not conventional electronics.
Yeah, I mean, a klystron is sort of limited by the ability of the cathode to supply the current, the ability of the chassis that it's made of, the metal, to actually conduct the fluxes and the amount of current that has to flow through them, which obviously better materials could be used there, and the amount of vacuum that you can possibly pull to affect any frictions that might take place in what's supposed to be a pure vacuum but always contains some impurities. So with better materials, with like advanced engineering, you could easily make a system that works kind of like a klystron to produce that type of pulse. It's just not something that I think humans have done in our public knowledge, at least, because the necessity for something in that energy level of that size just hasn't been demanded yet. But like now you can get a thumbnail size laser diode that generates 7 watts of visible blue light, and that's a concept that you were to talk to the person that invented the helium neon laser, where you're talking a several foot long tube and it can generate maybe fractions of a milliwatt, and you tell them, oh, you got this thumb size thing that can do 7 watts. Of course, that's mind-blowing concept, right? But it's not really that much farther down the line. So we could be very close to it, is basically what I'm saying. We could be very close to having more advanced materials in radio and RF and switching powers that are just around the corner. And the only thing that needs to happen to make them available is the industry needs to demand a purpose for them, or a use for them to be manufactured and developed.
Force on an asymmetric capacitor. Yeah, we've seen that. The Army research stuff. 2003. Yep. Yeah, interesting stuff, man. I'm trying to set up a website. I'm trying to set up a database. Still been busy working myself. I took a little time off because we moved recently, and yeah, I'm trying to get some stuff together. I really want. We might have a lab soon up here too. Got to see about that. Um, I've also talked to Ken Griggs, who of the Phoenix Theory. He's still working on Phoenix Theory. Wants to publish it at some point soon. He needs a programmer right now. They're still looking for a computer programmer, someone who's really good at like building, software. Who wants to take part in his project, but he basically wants to build a software to do physics with Phoenix theory instead of conventional physics, and he wants to be able to do like different types of theory, all the different types of calculations that you do in conventional physics with the new Phoenix theory instead of conventional quantum mechanics and path integral approaches. He's got a combinatorial approach that uses graphs and the graph theory approach that he outlined before with the Phoenix particles. And he's trying to build a program now to essentially do all the calculations with this. So if anyone is interested in helping and wants to get in touch with him, you can email me or at thealienscientist@gmail.com, or you can get in touch with Ken through his YouTube channel. And I think that he has some links to get to him there. If you can't get in touch with him, and then I can get you in touch with him. But yeah, he's still doing research into that, man, and it's kind of taking a two-sided approach. I want to work on the theoretical side, but I also want to work on the experimental side with people like Jeremiah and Mark and others, Nam and Wayne and Sean and everyone else on the team. So it's been cool. So and if anyone appreciate all the audience that we get here on these videos. It's a very technical kind of stuff, not for the average person, certainly, but we do meet a lot of really great people who are really interested in this stuff on here, and that's awesome that we have this community, even if it is only 115, 1,000 maybe 1,000 people max. So I guess you could call him through Skype if you wanted to come on, Dan. And is there anything else you wanted to share with us, Jeremiah?
No, I'd say that pretty much covers it for now. I mean, well, I do have just the one last piece of news, which is last night I got the Tiny Titan operating via Bluetooth. So it's now got Bluetooth integration, which means you can just hook up your cell phone or computer to that thing and play music through it. So that was super fun. I was syncing up some songs in Ableton and writing some music for it.
Cool. The other thing we need to get is a software-defined radio.
Yeah, I've been your buddy there, your very smart buddy, has been quite on the horn about that, and he found some really cheap ones that I'm sure he recommended the same models to you, and they are quite reasonable and quite powerful.
Yeah, this is really cool stuff. Although they're hard to get a hold of because there's almost unlimited things you can do with them on any radio frequency, and transmit, receive. So it's like a hacker's it's like this. The CIA have agents where they train people how to use these to hack shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're pretty incredible tools because they really don't have built-in limits. What they can do on just the analog side alone is impressive, but they're not really good enough on their own unless you're in close range. You definitely need a quality amplifier, and it does not have to be a complicated amplifier. It just needs to have a MOSFET or a transistor that's rated for the correct frequency and power handling capabilities and has a low enough gate or base threshold where it can trigger easily with the output of one of those boards.
Yeah,
but once you get that, you're basically set up. You could even test Elzaphan with it theoretically.
And I think the other thing I like about it is oscilloscopes are super expensive, and you can use an SDR as an oscilloscope as well.
Yeah, that part's awesome.
So you get a DAC, a data acquisition device, and then you can plug data. You can plug oscilloscope data directly in your computer, and you don't need to have such an expensive tool. You can do it all with your computer, which is awesome.
Yeah, I agree. It's something that we need to look into if we're gonna have the ability to either measure or generate gigahertz band frequencies at any kind of controllable power level.
Yeah, I like the Lime. The Lime SDR was one we were looking at too. RTL SDR. I think that might be another model. Yeah. So anyone wants to buy one and donate it to us, that would be awesome too. You can get a hold of me. I can give you shipping information on how to get it to the lab. But yeah, we need an SDR to do a lot of the stuff that we want to do, and we should look into getting a data acquisition device as well.
Yeah, I think for now the experiment that I want to try in terms of magnetic pulse propulsion is more on the lines of just simply using LC networks that have very, very fast capacitors like Bloomian line type discharges and single coil inductors to push against each other, and I can simply trigger them sequentially with a very small time delay, which could be, the time delay would be short enough where I could just use a single piece of wire where the two inputs triggers are parallel together, but the piece of wire that goes from coil 1 to coil 2 just be a slightly different length, and that would be a sufficient distance to trigger the thing sequentially so that it should produce a force. I guess we'll see if anything like that works, but that's the simplest way I can think to do it without the SDR, without the electronics. Just a delay line type analog trigger.
Yeah, I get
It'll jump or it won't jump, right? It's either going to do something or it won't. I guess we'll find out. But so that's what I've got. I hope you can get Dan on. I haven't heard from him in a while.
Yeah, Dan, can you call in on Skype, or do you want to call in on the phone? Somehow, I don't know if you could call in on a different line or something. Shit, I don't know what else we could use. He doesn't like to use Skype because every time he does, it screws up his computer.
Oh, man. That sucks.
They start hacking him through the Skype. I wonder if I could, if you can call me on Facebook live chat or something.
Yeah, just about anything else.
Let me see.
All right, man, I'm going to get off the horn for now, but I will stay tuned to the show.
All right,
Talk to you later, man.
Thanks for tuning in, and thanks for chiming in, man. It's always good to hear from you.
Yeah, same, dude. Talk to you soon.
Yeah, keep up the great work. So there you have it. We've got the first call in. I don't know what happened to my buddy here. I might go grab my phone, play a clip real quick or something. Oh, here we go. To my buddy here. I might go grab my phone. Hello, I got you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we're here. You're live, on air.
Yeah. I had to shut my other computer off because I could hear it in the background. I use my laptop on Skype. I never uploaded Skype to my gaming machine. I just have a lot of weird stuff that happens with Skype. You know that.
Yeah.
I mean, my God, over the years, it's like Skype.
Well, we had Uvu too, and then that one got corrupted, and we had switched to Uvu for a while, and then that one got. It's like they get all these new private chat things, and then they all get like infiltrated, because
they sure do. StreamYard seems to, or SteamYard. It's either SteamYard or StreamYard seems to be the one that everybody's using. I haven't seen hardly any problems with that. I
gotta try that one. I think I used it one time.
We did one night, and you weren't happy with it, but it was because you didn't know where any of the buttons were, and when you get used to it, it seems to be one. And then there's another one that people are using too. Is it Zoom? Zoom.
Yeah, Zoom. I had that one for a while too, but then that one I heard is like the worst of them all.
I know. Well, the Skype, there's all these back doors apparently that they can use, and boy. Remember the freaking when Ed would be around all the freaking.
It was just like every time I talked to Ed, it was like I'd have to have malware bytes running, and I'd have to have it scan my computer every time, and man,
I know.
They were just like. Yeah, he bought us all malware bytes, and then he sent me the backup drive too, so I could back up all my info and stuff, because like I kept getting, I had several computers go down and stuff. Because they were always, I swear, they were always watching us because they were, wondering if he was going to leak something through us.
Yep.
Send
Ed
us
literally
something.
mailed me a brand new desktop. It's in the next room, and it went down eventually. He mailed me it was like $900 at the time. He mailed me a super nice desktop, and then when he was sick and had all them blood clots in his legs and couldn't move, I went and bought him the nicest. He had to have the biggest screen that he could find, laptop, and I got him the creme de la creme laptop. Man, this was a gaming machine that I got him, and it was over $1,000, and he just loved that thing. As far as I know, he used that up until he passed away.
Wow.
He had less trouble with that than he did his desktop. But yeah, I use a Touch, Microsoft Touch or whatever. You have one, I think, too, right? I never got into using the Apple-based computers.
So the thing is, right, we had the SR-71 Blackbird and
Yep.
the B-2 bomber, right?
Yeah.
And the F-122. Something's replaced these other craft.
Oh yeah.
They have a new replacement, but we don't know about it yet.
Yep. Well, have you heard, some of the talk going on about the new stealth fighter? They have a new stealth fighter model out that's a bomber. They have two different versions. One's a drone, and one has two pilots, apparently. And there are hunters out all over near Area 51, all over Edwards, trying to find a glimpse of this thing, and they can't find any glimpse. The money's been out. It's been out for a while. I think they built the thing at least 10 years ago, but no one has caught a glimpse of this thing, and that's because I think they strictly fly it at nighttime with no lights on.
Yeah.
And it probably has some kind of, at this point, you and I know all about, the invisibility factors there, guaranteed. Let's say they fly it during the day, you're probably not going to see it. I think they've conquered that long ago, because Ed always said metamaterials, quasi-crystals, and what else? And the quasi-crystals,
We're talking about metallic glass, but also
Yep.
the carbon nanotubes technology. There's a lot of CNT technology in optics, the mirage effect.
Yep. The electrochromatic panels, which would probably be, electrochromatic panels. Michael Schrack calls them electrochromic panels. That stuff there was all about invisibility, remember? And then all of a sudden you didn't hear anything about it. But Ed was the one that talked about that stuff, So, I mean, as far as the craft that's out now, I have a lot of Area 51 friends. Did I tell you about our whole Area 51?
It's also crazy. I was going back over some of the Ed Fouché, the two UFOC presentations, and I was amazed at how much he talked about those electronic countermeasures.
That's all he talked about, ECMs and ECCMs.
Yeah.
Electronic countermeasures, electronic counter.
Imagine if he was he'd be having a field day with this TTSA stuff right now.
Oh, I know.
That's crazy.
He knew put off. He knew put off pretty well. He used to talk to put off. I heard him talk to put off a number of times on the phone. And yeah, I mean, I don't know what the deal is there. Yeah, there's supposedly a new B-21 out.
Yeah.
Northrop. And everybody's speculating on what it looks like. And now, you have the B-21 versus the B-2. Now, if you look at all the drawings and stuff like that, it really doesn't look that much different. But how accurate are the drawings?
Yeah, exactly. I'd like to see what Michael Schratt.
Want me to call him?
Yeah, get him on the phone, man.
Call him live on air and tell him what's up.
Call him live on air, man.
Yeah, he's probably at a if there's one open today, he's probably at a
That's Labor Day.
museum somewhere filled with airplanes. I'm serious. Let me call him.
Yeah, see where he's at, see what he has to say.
Yeah.
That'll be fun.
It's fun to see where Michael is. Let me see if I can get him to come on here. He'll probably think I'm full of crap.
Yeah, right. So that's the new one. Oh, wow.
Yeah, look at that. That's what they're saying. Trying to say it looks just like similar, very similar.
I guess the Koreans were creating a new stealth aircraft too. All the countries are
China,
trying to
everybody.
they're all going stealth now. It's
Yeah, Michael, don't answer. That's why I really believe the electrochromatic panels are real. I believe. Now, there was a guy in Texas a few years ago that filmed a flying triangle during the day that had excellent pictures. Let me look that up once.
yeah.
Uh, uh,
What the heck? It's like a Harrier. It just
flying triangle filmed over Texas, and it was a real sighting. I think that was in 2015. Do you remember that?
no, I don't remember that. You have to check. You have to
Scrub that from the. Here it is. I got it already, man. Yeah, you can show this analysis of plane over. Oh, it's over Kansas. I'm sorry. Okay, they claimed it was the B-21 actually. So Jeremy, I can send this to you in the Skype, I believe, right?
Yeah, send it to me on Skype. Oh.
Yes, you can show it to everybody. This is pretty cool. So glad I don't have to work today. Oh my God. All right, here we go. Let's see here. My body's falling apart. Okay, let me see. It is. All right, let's see. All right, see if you have that message. I just sent it to you. You'll remember this. It has a contrail behind it. Pretty good picture, man. You see it yet? I sent it in the messages. You there?
Yeah, I'm checking it out right now. Hold on, I'm trying to bring it up on the screen.
That is a triangle if I've ever seen one. Now, they tried to say that was a B2. I said, no way. There's no way. The angles are not even close to being right.
Wow, huh? Yeah, huh?
Yeah. What do you think? Doesn't
It's
look
got
like
a contrail, though.
Oh, yeah, it has a contrail, but what I'm saying is that's probably that B-21, and that was back in 2005. Look at that thing.
Yeah, huh?
That's a perfect that is a perfect triangle if I've ever seen one. The B-2's far more rounded than that thing. That thing is a triangle. I mean, look at it, and look how the back edge tapers, you know? I think it really, really looks like what was being chased around. That contrail is massive. Oh, guy's name is Jeff Templin for the people listening. Last name spelled Templin. I'm sure people have seen this before. He photographed it over, I had said Texas. I was wrong. He photographed it over Kansas.
Yeah, Kansas. Damn. Yeah,
Cool.
I swear, like most of the UFOs, there are craft or there's stuff that we're building because we don't have the invisibility enough to hide them. Aliens, if they can get interstellar, man, then they definitely have invisibility cloaks, and we'd never be able to see them.
Oh, I know. Jeremy, Google that guy's name in there and just type images, man. There are people that take filters and you can really see exactly what the thing's shaped like. It is fascinating what it looks like. It's really cool, man.
I'll have to find a video.
Whatever it is, we sure as hell don't know what it is. And let me say this. What if it is the Chinese flying over the United States and checking us out in stealth mode? What if that's what it is? You'll see one where it's green, where they applied filters. They didn't change the shape of it. They just applied some filters. He took a number of pictures of it. And the first time I saw that, I was like, wow, look at that thing, you know? And there are people that tried to say, oh, it's a B-2. It's not a B-2, man. No way. No way. No, the angles are wrong. The back of the B-2 is not concave either. It's like it's chopped up, you know?
Very interesting. So we gotta plan a day and a time and get David Hilton on here to do a whole special on Ed Fouché and
yeah, should call him up, see if he'll come on right now. Just talk for a little bit, you know, talk about Ed.
I don't know if he's around. It's Labor Day. Maybe he will be.
Probably one of the only days he is. I don't think he gets off much. I think what he does, he's one of the only, well, he is. It's like the only guy that can do what he does. So he's really slammed.
Hmm.
Yeah, he's really slammed when it comes to work. It's like a county job or something. But yeah, let me tell you something, man. That triangular craft there, I can guarantee you that no one knows what that thing is. People have been trying to figure out what that thing is for years. And they do comparisons with a B2. It's just not the same thing, man. It's not even close. It just doesn't look anything like it. The wedges are not cut out. There's wedges on a B2 that are cut out. It's a beautiful, whatever it is, it's beautiful to me because it's a freaking flying triangle, and I love flying triangles. You know, remember back in the day, Jeremy, when I'd just get up in the morning and type in flying triangle on Google every day and just see, oh, something popped up.
Yeah.
That's how crazy things were for a while. Remember that?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, I remember that, too.
This is a long time ago. End Area 51. I would type that in. Look at all this stuff that's happened in the past year. I mean, you got the guy, you get this guy, Gabe Zeifman, who flies right over, takes photographs of Papoose Lake, and you would think Bob Lazar Camp would just study them and just, be in awe of them. Instead, they don't even look at them.
Another thing I wanted to bring up, too, I wanted to show you, this was on Dark Journalists. He's talking about the deep state continuity of government program, how that continuity of government program started basically back in Roswell. It started it started with the atomic bomb, with the invention of atomic energy and the threat of nuclear weapons, because it was basically like, oh, what if there's, total, annihilation? What if we blow each other up completely? It started like back in the 50s from all that stuff, right? So Northrop Grumman, they've been one of the contractors, real tied to all this stuff. Did you know about this? This, right? There's this whole thing about they had this whole thing about they released, right?
Yeah.
About the argument for invisible aliens. And that.
You mean to tell me Northrop did this, huh?
No, yeah, no. There's a whole bunch of stuff that's going on. This is so Northrop Grumman, who brought out Howard Hughes. So they bought out Hughes Aerospace, and they also designed a pandemic grapple. So now they want to talk about aliens. So this is a new thing about aliens. So now they want to have this conversation about invisible aliens. That there's aliens hiding among us. So that there's aliens shapeshifted as humans, like pretending to be humans, living amongst us. And now they want to talk about this. And this is like a new article that they just released. But this is nothing.
I didn't see anything about this at all.
Yeah, no, I haven't seen much about it. Dark Journalist, one of the first people covering it. He does some good stuff on the deep state. This dude,
Daniel List. Yeah, I really like him.
He's got this.
Let me pull this.
Did you know about the pandemic graphic novel about coronavirus in 2011? Oh. Northrop Grumman released this whole thing about this coronavirus in 2011.
Wow.
Dude, hold up. I got to show you the friggin' 2011 comic book, Northrop Grumman.
See, I'm not on Twitter. I need to get on Twitter, eh?
Yeah, a lot of stuff goes on Twitter, and you got to follow the right people because not everyone knows what's up.
It's a tool to really misguide everyone too. So
I gotta find this comic book, dude. He was showing this comic book on the. I gotta find the freaking.
Okay.
I can't find it now. I gotta find this thing. I know he posted it. I'm gonna go and find it. It's got to be on his page. But it was in this X series, and he talked about it in the recent X series video that he did. He showed it. He was showing pictures of the manual, dude. They had this. I gotta find this manual, right? And it showed this. It showed that they did all these friggin' zombie apocalypse drills on all these army bases.
In 2011, huh?
Yeah, this is it. All right, so he's got a whole bunch of it. The COC is working with local health departments on a vaccine. Until then, bunker down and don't go outside unless you have to. This was from 2011.
Oh my gosh.
And they talked about this whole thing, like they had this whole like plan for all this coronavirus shit, like planned out. The deep state had it planned out fucking 9 years ago, man. This is crazy.
That's crazy, man. That's really crazy. Well, you know how they do this stuff.
Well, this thing's. I was like always, kind of skeptical because of 9/11 with things that go on. Like whenever there's a
Oh
big
yeah.
event like this, I'm always like, I don't believe the government, and it's so easy to manipulate large groups of scientists and large groups of people, like they did. They've done it countless times. It's just, but it's just watching this and then seeing this come out. It's like the story on this corona thing's crumbling hard, and that's why I think they put this. That's why I think O'Shaughnessy stepped down and they put this other guy in. I think they're getting ready to roll out the fake alien invasion, dude.
Well, do you remember the Jade Helm stuff? Whatever happened with all that?
Yeah, that Jade Helm thing. What happened with that? I haven't heard a peep about that.
Whatever happened with Jade Helm? Now, I had a spec ops guy tell me that stuff goes on all the time. That there was nothing unusual about it, and that the Jade Helm type stuff is just absolutely normal. And they used to do stuff like that all the time in the military. Now, I've never been in the military, so I wouldn't know. There's nothing special about it, and that someone like Alex Jones or somebody took it and tried to say that it was, we were all going to die and stuff. The Jade Helm, when was that? That was like 2015, right? 2014-ish? Back when that craft was seen, probably. It was September of either 2014 or 2015 is when it was supposed to go down, I remember. Let me type this in. See anything on it? I mean, was that related to any of this stuff? Did they talk about biological warfare?
Yeah. Biological warfare. They talk about a virus, and there was like the CDC. That there's lockdowns. There's all this stuff. There's a whole comic book that they made, and then they did all these. Then they were doing all these drills with preparing like the military for reacting against hordes of people. That there was basically like there were riots and these out of control things. It's very, very eerily reminiscent of events taking place in 2020.
That's crazy. So Northrop Grumman was running lifelike drills about, literally they called it coronavirus also.
I don't know if they called it coronavirus. I think they called it like a zombie disease, or there was some other word for it. They didn't call it coronavirus. I don't think. That would have been just like, oh no.
There was a TV show. There was a TV show that did that.
I gotta find this shit.
There was a TV show that did that part.
Here it is, 2011. Here's the article from the Center of Disease Control, Preparedness 101, Zombie Apocalypse. Here you go.
No way.
Here you are. I just posted it in the chat, man. This is it. And they had these people dressing up like zombies, and then they were the emergency supply kits and stuff, and then.
Oh wow.
Yeah, this is
right now. It's crazy. The Preparedness Zombie Apocalypse 101. Wow, I'm gonna send this to a friend of mine right now.
Yeah, this is cool. When I seen this come out on Dark Journalist, I was like, holy shit. And this is like all the same deep state people that, like at Northrop Grumman and everything. I'm like,
it normally takes me a long time before I'll promote somebody, because people always seem to be full of shit after a while, But that Daniel List guy from the Dark Journalist, he seems to
dude, he's right on top of so many issues that so many like researchers fail on, man.
Schratt and I were investigating Howard Hughes at one point, and because Schratt was shocked that I brought up Hughes to him. He's like, man, no one brings up Howard Hughes, man. Well, I brought it up, and I said, man, I believe that he saw something at Groom Lake. I believe in whatever he saw. They basically does what the mafia did. They shelved the guy and put him in a hotel to keep an eye on him, because killing Howard Hughes would have been too huge. People don't realize who the hell Howard Hughes was back then. Howard Hughes was probably the equivalent to Trump back then, but Howard Hughes was a billionaire back when there were no billionaires. He was one of the richest men in the world, and he got that way. His parents both died when he was only like 18. I forget what happened. And his father owned a company called Toolco. Toolco made all the drill bits and all the equipment to drill into the earth during, the big oil boom in the 20s and stuff like that. And he was a billionaire at a very, very young age. Now imagine being 18 years old and you're a billionaire, Jeremy, in the 1920s. I mean, just think about that for a minute. We're talking about there wasn't hardly any millionaires back then, but he was a billionaire, okay?
Yeah.
So Hughes had all the money, and he got into classified programs. He was all about aircraft. He was the first one to recess rivets on an airplane and to literally change the aerodynamics of an aircraft, and he wrecked a number of times and damn near died from flying. But he saw something, in my opinion, that just whatever it was scared the shit out of him. And they kept him in Las Vegas, Nevada to keep an eye on him. He ended up buying I think it was the Stardust Hotel. I can't remember which one it was.
Yeah, and he lived in his room and grew his fingernails out to like really long, and then would only get like his meals under the door, and
he had all kinds of disorders. Yeah, he had all kinds of OCD disorders and all that stuff. Now that's what they say. Okay. Now, there's a guy named Bob Mayhew that I've talked to John Lear about already that took care of all of Howard Hughes' affairs. And I've got an interesting story that's very true about Howard Hughes. It's pretty funny if to me it was. John Lear told me this. John Lear said that one time Howard Hughes called Bill Lear Sr. up, which was John Lear's dad, and said, "Hey, can I want to test fly one of your Lear jets. I'm thinking about buying one or whatever, you know." So, of course, John Lear's dad, kisses Hughes's butt and hooks him up with a brand new jet. And he didn't want the jet at all. He took the jet and flew it, okay, from like one state to another, and just left it sit at this airport, okay. 10 years, and it was impossible to get a hold of Howard Hughes. You had to go through all these different channels to try and get a hold of him. It didn't matter if you were an attorney or who the hell you were. It was impossible to get a hold of Howard Hughes. So 10 years later, John Lear's dad gets a phone call that his airplane was like in a hangar in Ohio, and there were all these fees owed on it for storing it for all these years. Well, basically, Hughes stole it and flew it there and just left it sit there for 10 or 11 years. And Lear's father had to pay, it was brand new, had to pay the bill to get it back, which was, I don't know what it would have cost back then, but they service those things like once a month. It's probably hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars just to get the fucking plane back. Excuse my language. But, yeah, man, that's what he did to John Lear's dad. And yeah, John Lear just thought that Hughes was a jerk for that, because, I mean, he told me that story personally a couple of times. I just thought it was funny, man. I mean, you call a guy up and borrow a brand new jet and just fly it somewhere for your own personal use and just leave it sit there. I mean, how arrogant of a human being do you got to be, or a creep? You have to be to do something like that. But that was the only story I have of him. But, yes, there was a guy named Bob Mayhew that controlled Howard Hughes day-to-day, everything. Everything Howard Hughes did was controlled by a guy named Bob Mayhew, and the Mormons basically took over the finances and everything of Howard Hughes. I don't know what happened to Howard Hughes as far as his money and stuff. I do know a number of people came out and said they were his kids and stuff like that. The one guy looked strikingly just like Howard Hughes. He really looks a lot like him. But on the other hand, I'm sure there was a number of people that tried to say they were his kids or whatever to try and get his fortune, because it was in the billions and no one claimed right to it. But I absolutely believe that Hughes saw something at Groom Lake that freaked him out. I don't know what it was. Maybe it was the Roswell craft. I have no idea. Whatever it was, man, I think it caused him to go into more of a, whatever you want to call it, a panic, whatever he was involved in. He lived in anxiety, and if you ever seen the movie about him, it's interesting.
Aviator?
Yeah, the Aviator. I have it
DiCaprio
on DVD sitting right next to me. He just absolutely goes into this, he turns into another person and basically loses.
It's very similar to what happened to people in the Robertson panel,
Oh, what's the Robertson panel? I've heard of that.
That's like where they were told about, UFO. That's where they were told about aliens, and the people went nuts. Like, when they were
Yeah, and
like.
their reaction would be, is there a live filming of that you can see by any chance?
I wonder what you could do. We got to get like a new version of it, like where we do something like a social experiment to bring a bunch of people in a room and tell them and watch their like reality breakdown,
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I want to know, and I think that's why disclosure hasn't happened yet, because first of all, okay, if you all of a sudden have people that don't believe they're going to hell when they kill somebody, the murder rate goes through the roof.
Yes.
There's a lot of reasons why religion is a must. And, people don't realize this. It is absolutely a must to have it. And, they say, oh, well, the King James Bible and stuff like that. You're darn right they edited it because people wanted to kill them. I mean, the kings and queens robbed everybody. There was nothing good ever about the, what do you call it over there? The monarchy, or what do you call it? The king and queen over there. They get they get the money. I forget what they call the taxing or whatever. She still gets money, I think, right? Doesn't the monarchy, is it the monarchy, Jeremy? What's that called over there? Anybody English in the chat?
Any Brits out there? The monarchy?
Yeah, the monarchy. They still get money, don't they?
I don't know how they're financed. How they. I think they're actually paid by the British government pays them to, like, they don't actually rule anymore. They used to.
Ridiculous, man. It's a lot of money. I know that. It's billions.
Well, they definitely, if anyone's been involved in the cover-up, it's been like a trifecta of, London, Washington, D.C., and the Vatican, We know there's vaults under the Vatican. The Vatican's one of the most highly protected places on the planet.
They've got literally tons of
snipers on the fucking roofs.
Oh,
my brother went there. He said there's snipers on like every rooftop.
Oh yeah, it's more guarded than DC is. Yep.
It's crazy over there.
Yeah.
I guarantee you.
That's why the Pope started kissing the butt of the Muslims there for a while, because he was literally scared they were going to get to him or try.
They do not want disclosure.
No, they don't, because disclosure would interrupt religions all over the world, because now all of a sudden you've got something else to explain that's not explained. I don't know, man. I don't know what would happen other than it would probably be bad all the way around. It would have to be. And you said this Robertson panel. I'm interested to hear that. I'll be back in a second, Jeremy, okay?
Yeah, let me look up the Robertson.
I got to grab a drink here real quick.
That's fine. I'm going to look this up right here. So the Robertson panel was a scientific committee which met in January 1953, headed by Howard P. Robertson. The panel arose from a recommendation to the Intelligence Advisory Committee in December 1952 from a Central Intelligence Agency review of the U.S. Air Force investigation into Project Blue Book. The CIA itself was in response to widespread. The review itself was in response to widespread reports of UFOs, especially in the Washington, D.C. area during the summer of '52. The panel was briefed on U.S. military activities and intelligence, hence the report was originally classified secret, later declassified. The Robertson panel report concluded that UFOs were not a direct threat to national security, but could pose an indirect threat by overwhelming standard military communications due to public interest in the subject. Most UFO reports, they concluded, could be explained as misidentification of mundane aerial objects, and the remaining minority could, in all likelihood, be similarly explained with further study. The Robertson panel recommended that a public education campaign should be undertaken in order to reduce public interest in the subject, minimizing the risk of swamping air defense systems with reports at critical times, and that civilian UFO groups should be monitored. Robertson's panel report was contained with a large internal CIA report by F.C. Durant, a CIA officer who served as secretary to the panel, which summarizes the activities of the panel and its conclusions. All right, so this isn't what I was thinking about. This is something a little different. I thought there was another panel that met that was to judge the public reaction to the reality. If how they took like a priest. They took a school teacher. They took like a bunch of random people out of society, and brought them in and basically made them believe that they'd recovered a crashed alien saucer and that aliens were real, and they judged their reaction. And a lot of these people had mental breakdowns of their whole reality, and like, you know, had severe psychological traumas, and that was used as a reason for why the public can't be told. But that was something else. This is something different. This Robertson panel thing. I'm trying to figure out what that was called. That they had another similar panel where they did a study on just a random slice of society, and what they would do if they were encountered with the truth about or a disclosure. You know, basically. Crazy stuff. So, speaking to the mic, playbacks 1603. Wow, there's a lot of people watching this one and becoming interested in this. No interesting comments here, really. Yeah, UFOs, very interesting stuff, man. But papal security, the security systems they have at the Vatican are insane. I bet you there's some kind of, who knows what's in the vaults under that place, man. It's nuts. In any case, I don't know what else we can talk about, man. I'm kind of done. I'm kind of done talking for right now. I want to see what Cal Korf's coming out with the Roswell. He's supposed to be coming out with some new stuff about the Roswell crash. Who knows? Couple days, he said. Think critically. We do. Coronavirus. There he is. Solving JFK's murder. Cal Korf knows it all. Interesting stuff. Now, what else did I want to look up? I gotta find that Northrop Grumman thing that Dark Journalist was talking about. But anyways, we're gonna get some more people on who are scientists to talk about these metallic glasses and shit too, man. I can't wait to do that. That will be epic. Where's the amorphous metal we can buy? Purchase. This is what he bought off eBay, was this stuff. I'm gonna buy this foil, this memory foil. I'm gonna buy me some of this. Look at this crap. Amorphous alloy ribbon. There it is. $30. I'm doing it. I'm doing it. I'm gonna buy it right now. I'm gonna go buy this right now on the other screen and order some. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Any questions? Well, we still have. I'll check the live chat. Anyone, you know? Why would anyone want to understand the keys to the universe, dude? You know? The Battle of LA predates Roswell by a few years. I think so. What was the Battle of LA? That was 42. Very cool. Any questions, man? Yep, don't believe the media. Turn off your TV. Turn off your TV. They're a bunch of liars. Unfortunately, everyone is busy dying. Yeah, there was UFOs over the White House in 54. There was tons of them. Oh, dude, that would be awesome. Send Dark. Yeah, if you guys can go on Twitter and just ask Dark Journalist to get me on and send him the video that I just did, and that would be amazing. I would love to. I'd love to talk to that dude. He said he's 15 minutes from MIT in that last stream too. He said, "Oh, MIT, which is only like 15 minutes from here." I was like, "Dude, you're in Boston?" He's like, "Let's meet up." I'm like an hour away. I can drive to Boston and be there in an hour. I would love to go on his show live. I'll have him come right down to my studio. I'll set it up here. He'd come right down to my apartment. In fact, I gotta get Dan. If Dan gets laid off from his job, he's gonna come live here and friggin' work. We're gonna do nothing but videos and friggin' try to take this shit over, hardcore. So, 96, number 96 of the X series of Dark Journalist. That's the most recent one that he had. That's the one we're talking about. That's the one where he said about all this stuff, and I took the clip from it in my latest video that has all that stuff. He goes on, talks about all the Roswell crash site and the debris and everything else. Man, really cool stuff. Yeah, there's another interesting stuff. He talks about John Trump, and he talks about how John G. Trump was connected with Tesla's work and Werner von Busch. Yeah, please do. That would be awesome. Yeah, watch this. Tell him you watch my other video that I posted and watch his number 96. Watch Dark Journalist number 96. Where is it on his page? Dark Journalist. Yeah, UFOs and the continuity of government. COG secret revealed. This is the video. Whoops. Copy. I'll post it right in here. I don't really trust the Q thing because it's too mainstream and there's too many fake conspiracy theories that they promote, and they try to bring and branch all the conspiracies under this whole right-wing umbrella to make it all like it's a big right-wing conspiracy. And that's what people don't understand about the deep state is they don't care about your politics. This is about something much deeper than oh, my team's better than your team. It's not a freaking sports event. All right, this is like real shit that goes on. This is like, this isn't like fifth grade, high school popularity, sorry, fifth grade isn't high school, but this isn't sixth grade middle school popularity contests. All right. This is deep politics, and it goes beyond left and right. You have to look beyond that stuff if you really want to understand what's going on, because these people, the money interests that control really everything, they play both sides of that field, and they do it quite well. And they play us all off each other by getting us to fight each other, with this left-right crap. And that's a big part of what I think Q is about, and also discrediting conspiracy theories in general, because they promote so many fake ones. Like chemtrails. Total bullshit. The government is not spraying. They don't need to fucking spray you with airplanes, dude. Those are contrails. They can just put it in your food, So you have to buy more expensive food. So that way the rich people don't get, the GMO crap. They put it in our food and in the fluoride in the water already. I mean, come on. They really got to spray it in our air, too? They breathe that fucking air, too. You think they're that dumb? Chemtrails. Get the fuck out of my face, dude. So much disinformation. But anyways, yeah, and then there's all that stuff trying to say that, because of John G. Trump, he has the Tesla technology, and that Trump's going to be the disclosure president, and that's why he created Space Force, and there's more going on behind the scenes than we know about. Dude, it's all, these are a bunch of windbags. The real, I don't know. I don't buy all that. I don't buy all that secret space program, Corey Good, 20 and back program, any of that stuff, dude. I think I think it's all wasteful government spending, and then that there's other stuff going on. But anyways, yeah, if you want to really understand the deep state stuff, Dark Journalist is a great guy to listen to. Also, Peter Dale Scott. Very great, very good researcher to follow. His books are amazing. The American Deep State. If you're going to buy a book about and really learn about this, buy this one. It'll help you really understand so much about how the real money works, how the banks work, how they deal drugs, and the banks wash the money for the drug dealers in order to keep our economy afloat and have provide liquid cash assets that are untraceable for their secret operations. There's so much going on with it. They're the biggest drug dealers on the planet. They have billions of dollars in drug money get funneled through these programs, and it all goes toward funding fucking more deep state shit, and more secret, conspiracy shit that we call conspiracy theories and say doesn't exist. When people like Oliver North and the Iran-Contra scandal and there's so much connected to it, and again, it connects with the 9/11 people, have connected it with there's so much overlap in this stuff that I really think it's awesome that people are doing the research and putting it all together and bringing real information together and getting hip to all the fake bullshit conspiracy theories that get spread out there to throw people off the trail of the real shit. Just keep doing the research, keep investigating this stuff. We're making huge progress, and the government hates it, dude. They put out more and more disinformation every day to try and throw us off the trail or distract us with nonsense. But tell you what, it's not working, bro. Not on me. So, anyways, yes, everyone.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Oh, Dan, I
Oh,
thought
there
you
you are.
left. I was about ready to end this, man.
Oh, I'm sorry, man. I knew you sounded tired when I came on anyway. Is there anything you wanted to talk about at all before we do end this, by the way? What do you...
I wanted you to
what do
get
you got
on and
going, man?
I maybe wanted you to get on and go do some Google Earth shit with me or something. I don't know. We always have fun when we go on and start talking. We were talking about some stuff the other day. Let's figure out
The
something.
only issue with that is I don't have Google Earth on this computer, and the best way to do it is if you have Google Earth downloaded. I have it on I can easily pull it up though and show you my stuff I can send it to you through Messenger if you want on my other computer. Not a problem.
That's always fun, just going on
let's do it.
Google Earth with Dan. No, I don't know. We don't have to if you don't want to do it.
Oh, I love Google Earth. Why, you want to
go find some shit?
Want to see where people are idiots
hey,
think
Wiz.
S4 or think we're S4?
Yeah, I wouldn't waste that time with Bob Lazar and S4.
Nah, I don't even talk about the guy anymore.
What about China's Area 51? Where the hell is that? I remember seeing something that came out about that. China's Area 51. I think it was on the drive. It was on the drive, right? There was a recent article they discovered is massive desert base. This is China's massive desert base. Dude, let's find this motherfucker.
Oh, I guarantee you they have an Area 51.
Yeah, they have their own Area 51.
Remember, everyone, Area 51 is a proving ground.
And remember,
just
China,
like
it's just a proving ground.
Arizona, Yuma proving ground. There's so many proving grounds across the United States. They want you looking at Area 51 because, believe me, where they're testing everything at that they don't want you to see is somewhere else.
Yeah, like San Clemente
they have
Island.
Really perfected this, and the whole Bob Lazar story was created on purpose by the government to distract you. I think I can absolutely prove it at this point, to distract you.
Yeah, we've done so much with it.
They used popularity to do it. They used John Lear back in the 80s. For those people that don't know anything about a life prior to cell phones and computers, this is how it was done. It was done back then. Richard Doty's been involved from day one, and Richard Doty's still involved. Richard Doty was involved when he actually worked for the government. He was Falcon on a show called UFO Cover Up Live. It was the first time UFOs Area 51 were ever mentioned.
I gotta update that Bob Lazar. That's
prior to
all.
Bob Lazar.
That's all on BobLazarDebunk.com. We got to update that site and put some more stuff on there. And
Oh, I haven't looked at it in a while. You have that on there, huh? Okay.
I think it's on there. I'm pretty sure that is on there.
Cool.
I want to put some more stuff on there because they're just fine. And there's some information that's not that I've done more research on since that I got to change and stuff too. We got to update a bunch of shit because that still gets a lot of traffic and a lot of views despite
Yeah, if there's a guy, if Victor's out there, man, he's got some insane stuff. I hope that
I
guy.
know you were telling me about this Victor guy. I tried to add him as a friend on Facebook and he hasn't accepted. Man, I sent him a bunch of messages and some stuff, and I'm like, you know.
That's because one time he sent me something and I sent it to you and it ended up on your.
I posted on Twitter. I like to post shit.
Yeah,
I can't help myself too.
Yeah, well, you know what, dude? I didn't know why he sent it to me then. He doesn't tell whether.
Yeah, don't send it. You know,
dude, I've sent this guy tons of stuff, man. You know, I send people every bit of research I've done on the guy because I want the stuff to get out, and then they get pissed if you put one thing out they've sent you that they've discovered.
They
it's
discovered
like,
it, and oh,
I didn't know there was a copyright on Bob. You know,
yeah.
you know, and one thing people need to understand is I don't hate Bob Lazar, man. The guy, you know, he's really kept me on my toes.
It was the Hosefield thing. He found the yearbook. Because we put it, we were the ones who put it out there and said, go find 1979 West Trusbrook Clark High School, find the yearbook from 1979, and Bob's in it.
Yeah,
and
we knew Hosefield was there. We already
told people that, and then they go out and actually find it and get it, and then like they want all the credit.
Yeah, he just got the picture is all, and you know all you had to do was spend $1.99 to get the yearbook.
I don't know why you're so mad at me. You don't want to be friends with me over that, and it's fine. But dude,
He got pissed off about it. It's ridiculous.
Work with me, bro. I'll put you on the map. You're a real physicist from Australia, and you want to get this out, and you have interview. And supposedly, Dan tells me he's done interviews with all these scientists from Los Alamos, all these physicists who work with.
He's got some really cool stuff coming up, man. Let me just tell you that he's got stuff coming up that will just.
Right, we're going to be vindicated. All these
solves everything.
There's so many people like saying, "Oh, you were wrong on Lazar," and like, look at all the stuff that's come bullshit, dude. I will have the last word on Lazar, and that is a fact. You just wait. Just wait. It's only a matter of time. That's why I don't even bother. Like I haven't even bothered.
That's why I don't say nothing about him anymore. And I was supposed to do an interview, and I told the guy I can't. I said, just the whole Bob Lazar topic does nothing but cause me trouble. Okay.
Right.
And I've already spoken to I got to keep that between you, me, and that person. You know who I talked to. I mean, how much closer could I gotten? I mean, I'm closer to Lazar than John. Not closer to Lazar. What I'm saying is I've gotten someone that I talk to all the time that's closer than Lear is to Lazar. So figure that one out, people. Jeremy knows who it is. Right, Jeremy?
I'm not going to say a word about that.
Yeah.
Proving grounds, man. They don't have no proving grounds around here.
Look up, if you want to see one in the United States, it's really insane. Look up Yuma Proving Grounds once. Pretty cool place, man.
Yuma. I want to find the Chinese one. I want to know where it is so I can show people. We got the article on it. If anyone knows,
just type in the Chinese Area 51. It shows you.
Yeah, where's the coordinates? I gotta get the coordinates. So here's the Yuma Proving.
Here they just posted it not the other week on the drive. I saw it again.
Laguna Army Airfield. Is that
an Air Force? I think it's just an Air Force base in a Chinese desert. That's all.
Yeah, but they got some serious underground infrastructure there. You can see it in the photos that they had. You know?
Oh, didn't even find that part yet? Let me take a look here.
Like these images, bro. There's some serious.
Yeah, that's not the one there. I see.
Yeah, I'm gonna post it on the drive. I'm gonna post it on the.
That looks almost exactly like.
It's the Dingspin Test and Training Base. Boom. Let's go at Dingsping. Dingsping.
See, they've used a couple of places that are supposedly China's Area 51s, and they've been wrong.
Dingjing. Let's find Dingjing. Dingji.
Satellite images of park area. Okay, that is the one I'm looking at right now. I think I have it. Hang on.
They said it was out in the desert. This is in a bunch of mountains, bro.
Yeah, I got the deserty spot, man. Yeah, here we go.
China's so crazy.
It's on the Mongolian border. Is that the same place you're looking at, man?
Is it the Dingji?
How do you spell that?
Dingxi.
No, I don't think that's it. This is a drone launching pad too. You can really see it. Actually, here, man, I'm sending it to you in a check your Facebook Messenger, okay? Because I'm on my other computer. So hold on here.
I don't see this here, and this area is like way too.
Check your Facebook Messenger right now. Okay, I just sent it.
That's way too.
Yeah, I got you, man.
All right, I just had this article open too.
Because that one you looked at ain't right.
Yeah, where the heck is it though?
Well, you'll see
On
here.
the Mongolian border.
Yeah.
But where's the? I need some coordinates or something, man.
Well, yeah, I know. Hold on. This ain't an article gives you all that. It's from the Express.
I didn't see it in there, huh?
China's own top secret military base discovered using Google Maps. Shocking claims. Is that the one you're talking about? Conspiracy theorists believe they have found the equivalent of Area 51 in China, coupled with black stealth aircrafts using Google Maps. I mean, they've got it. They've got some really cool stuff. Like I said, it's all speculation. I'm pretty darn sure that this is the air
Here we go.
in the desert. That one I just sent you, right?
I got coordinates now. I seen him. I didn't see him before.
Yeah, that's it. Right there it is, man. You got it. Yeah.
Boom! We got it.
Yeah, that's the one.
Let's go. Ooh wee.
Make sure you go through your time. Make sure you go through and look at different times, you know?
Yeah, see, this one's neat. They got some slots coming
Darn
out the
right.
ground.
Yes.
They got an underground
That would be
something or other, man. This
Yeah,
is-
zoom in on that closely. I want to try and figure out what that is.
So they got a perimeter around here. It looks like some training ground, training exercise areas, kind of like what we see at Area 51. Like that.
Certainly. They're simulating something there. They're testing. You can see where ordinances have gone off all over the place, right?
Yeah, there's holes where the ordinances have gone off. There's a lot of work here of.
Now see where that big channel is out around there. Now, I know it's a desert, but that's a border of some reason to stay the hell out. Like you can't drive a Jeep in there or whatever the hell they use over there. There's for some reason they have people driving in and out there. Oh yeah, look at all this weird stuff. This is where I wish I had a good friend of mine that knows what all this type of crap is with the what these carvings are in the desert and stuff.
It looks like areas
They
that
simulate all kinds of stuff on the ground to hit it, to hit stuff.
Yeah, targets and stuff, so that they can
targets.
practice.
Yeah,
doing flybys and bombing runs and stuff. And
I'm curious to see how close the local housing is around there, because the local housing, I guarantee you, is people that work at that base.
this is just weird, man. This is like some kind of weapons they're testing,
Yeah, look at the marks they leave. Holy
Look
crap.
at the marks. They're very, very strange. This is like Nazca lines on.
You can tell that it's like a, they're probably flying by and dropping something down that's got,
Yeah.
that's
also,
like a rocket. It's obviously, it's jet propelled or whatever.
Some of these look like those, some of these holes look like these especially these big craters like here. These look like they were done by kinetic energy weapons.
Yeah, man, like electricity. I agree.
No, kinetic energy. That's momentum. So they have this thing where they have this rocket that shoots a steel beam the size of a telephone pole up into space.
I saw that.
Right?
Yeah.
You heard about this?
Yes, go ahead.
It's called a kinetic weapon.
Yeah, you had posted that. Well, go ahead.
Let me see this.
You think that's what that is there? Yeah, because it's got a sideways signature. But remember, in the desert, Jeremy, you can have that happen naturally because of wind.
The rod's from God.
Blows one way, it'll make it look like there's.
Let me find a rod from God crater.
Guarded that way, right? Right. Whoa, hang on here.
So a rod from God.
Yes, the rod from God. Yes, they use the. Remember, we know the guy that did the drawings on those things. The rod from God's.
Yeah, the rod's
That
from
went
God.
back
This,
to
yeah.
Ed. That went back to Ed at. Oh shit, man! What was the name of that place he worked at? SCIC.
Yeah. SAIC.
The
Yeah.
guy's name began with a W. Remember?
Yep. So
Yeah.
they got this big thing up in space somewhere with these kinetic weapons. So they can just drop it, and it's basically like this thing, this spike the size of a telephone pole, and it drops from space, and it goes
Yeah.
supersonic, and it hits the ground with just such amount of energy that it just destroys.
24,000 miles an hour
Yeah.
is what it was doing. It's how
Yeah.
fast they were going.
Yeah, so you don't need nuclear weapons because you can get the same amount of energy that a nuke would do with just kinetic energy.
Actually, I think they got more.
I think they might have, dude. With the
dude, if you look up videos of China's sky lighting up in red, that's probably what those weapons are. Check it out on YouTube sometime. I'm gonna look it up right now. China, the
they
sky
got some of
turns
the
red.
craziest fireworks.
They've had the same
too.
thing in Russia also, where the sky turns red, and there's some type of bomb going off over there they're testing.
This is really interesting, though. The markings on the ground, and then just the facilities that are around here. What is this? This is some kind of agricultural. Very interesting stuff going on here, but here's the military base itself. It's got a whole
Check that out. The photography and stuff is so cool, isn't it? That really reminds me of Tonopah Test Range, the way it's set up.
Yeah, it's got a whole barracks.
Oh, check
It's
that
got
out. Yeah, that is
basketball
China's
courts,
Area 51, isn't it?
a soccer.
Let's take a look at the aircrafts they've got, man. Yeah, they don't play much basketball over there.
What's that, ping pong?
Probably they're the best at it. They got volleyball, ping pong, all that stuff there, man.
Look at this, dude. There's a little pond here in the middle of the desert. There's a whole nother facility over here. Looks like they've done some construction, like some junk area, another barracks. Oh, here's a little airplane friggin' graveyard.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
See the walls up around everything? See that? That's
Yeah.
walls.
Well, they're right here.
Look at all those aircrafts in there, man.
And then this frickin' thing. What is this? Oh, look at these are into the side of the hill. This goes up. I thought it went down into the ground. This is a giant mound here.
Yep, that's weapons testing.
This is like a parking lot.
Looks like helicopters can land up there or something. See that?
Yeah, but then it's got this thing that drops away, like it goes underneath, like this underground.
Oh yeah. Well, they could
like
use that
some
for
big
radar
underground
testing.
storage. Look at the size of this thing.
They could use that for radar testing, man. They have some of them things that you'll put an aircraft on there, and there's a giant hydraulic pump under there, and the thing will push way up in the air, and they'll test it.
I bet you there's guys at CIA taking pictures of this, right? Right.
Oh yeah, look at that. You can see the entrances. See that shit?
Yeah, these little little. I don't know.
It is China's Area 51. You might want to put that in the title. Check that out. Look how wide. Can you use a ruler and measure how wide the trench is around it? Look at that. I'm going to say it's at least 30 to 40 feet wide.
How wide that trench is.
Yeah, look at that. Look at
measure. It is the measuring tape.
Is it? Yeah, I'm just curious because, man, that's pretty darn big. I'm going to say it's, at least 30 to 40 yards. Because I'm looking there, you can see those are little vehicles,
about 23 meters. It's about 23 meters. That's...
Okay, so 60 feet.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, about 60 feet.
Wow. Well, that's a lot.
Trench. That's quite a trench.
Yeah, they don't want anybody in there. And look how much dirt's in that part there where you just measured it at compared to the rest of it. What are those walls, right there? I love Google Earth. It's my favorite thing to do sometimes.
So from right here to right here, right? Let's go from right here to right here. That's 72 meters, and it probably has an incline of, Well, let's get down on it, right? How do we do the 3D? Let's drop.
Control.
And then I got to control click and then go or alt click.
Yeah. Yeah.
How
You
do I
can.
go up and down with it?
Oh darn it. Control.
I used to go double to click both mice at the same time.
Yeah, you used to be able to just.
There we go.
Yeah, and it'll look way better too.
I just want to get right down on it and see how high it is.
Yeah. Look how big that place is. Holy crap. Now remember, Area 51 is 10 miles by 6 miles. The Groom Lake Dry Lake Bed area is. So
it's probably. I don't
so
know.
this
Looking at it
place
from the
looks a
side to
lot
side, it
bigger
looks
than Area
about.
51. What's that?
It doesn't look super tall from this angle.
You'd be surprised. Now remember, you have a what is it called? I forget what they call it. There's a scale on there. Your scale's off.
This is really weird, man.
I'll tell you what, that place is a lot bigger than Area 51.
It is.
I mean, the whole place is a whole. That's the same place as where that you
They got
that
all
the
this
airfield,
area.
right? Oh yeah, look at that. That's huge.
The size of that desert they have. So
Zoom out more. Yeah, I mean, look at that place. That's it's
so it's right here.
yeah. Look around for targets and stuff like that. Look around for airplanes.
What's this? There's another little target area.
Yeah.
We got a compound there. Trees. A couple towers.
Look at all that stuff, man.
Yeah, that's where they do like some crazy staging.
Everything they do is crazy.
Maneuvers, man. Whoa, what the heck?
Oh yeah, look at all that bombing there. Look at all that. You're going over right now. Zoom down again.
Yeah,
Zoom
those
down.
are
Yeah, look
carpet
at all
bombs.
yeah, look at that shit, man. Wow.
Yeah, they got some kind of weapons that do these.
They probably put people out there in the middle of the field at night. They're so sick and probably just light them up, dude. Dissidents, you know. I'm serious. I'm not joking about that either.
In China.
Yeah, I'm not joking about that one bit. They probably take dissidents out there, people that are
talking too much about Roswell and too much about the government and too much about Battelle and
yeah. This country here is headed that way.
Oh yeah, it is. With the COVID-19 is the run up for it, man. They're trying to see how people start killing each other over masks and shit.
Well, it's crazy. At work, I mean, somebody rats you out for coughing. I mean, it's like, once you go for that test, you're off work for 4 days. They'll pay you. They pay you, but it's just.
Wow, that's a big target. How fucking bright is that one?
That is a big target.
Almost 100 meters. It's 100 meters wide.
That's a football field, so. Wow.
Oh, these even bigger.
Oh no, it's
even bigger ones.
That's the size of the TR-3B. It's 600 feet.
Right.
See how easy you could hide a TR-3B if you just blended it into the sand? I mean, you know.
Could have one out here.
Look at that place. That's definitely their Nellis Air Force range. That's like the Nellis test and bombing range. I mean, that really reminds me of Nellis, and then you go north and go to Indian Springs. Then you go north, 30 miles north to take you to Area 51, which is the proving ground for everything. Then you got Edwards to the left. You've got Tonopah Test Range to the left. You've got Yuma Proving Ground right down around in there. You've got it all, man.
Yeah, but the thing is, Area 51 has an 8-mile runway. This runway is only a 12-mile runway. Oh, they extended it, right? That's right. They extended it.
The 8-mile runway is right next to the 12-mile one.
So,
go look.
This one's only 2.6 miles long.
Let's take a look at old Area 51, see if there's been any updates.
Yeah, let's look at the Groom facility and some other facilities.
Find out right now. Yeah, I love having Google Earth Pro downloaded onto my computer. It's so much better than just going to regular Google Earth online.
Yeah,
I have
that's what I
Pro.
have. This is Google Earth Pro. I think.
It takes me right to Area 51 as soon as it opens up.
So, before we go out there, let's go to where is it? San Francisco, right here. See these two islands right off the coast of San Francisco.
San Clemente. And what's the other one? San Clemente. And
yeah,
yeah, the Navy owns them. There's actually 3 or 4.
San Clemente Island.
Yeah.
That one's always cool. There's always.
And remember, Jeremy, just north of there.
Oh, it's off San Diego. Sorry.
I can take you right to the supposed alien base or the United States base that's underwater 6 miles off the coast of oh darn it, what's the name of that town, that place on the ocean where all the stars go to? What's the name of that town? Nah, man, the name of the town where all the rich people go, and there's a UFO base 6 miles off the coast.
Oh
man, it's where Carrie Cassidy lives. Or stays, I should say. What's the name of that town? It's where all the rich people go that live in it's about an hour's drive from LA. Shit, it's just north of where you're at there. I'm going to take a picture of it and show you that platform where everybody claims that they land at. Hang on here. The ETs go.
Give me 1 second.
It is pretty cool to look at.
I can't hear you.
I can never remember the name of that place.
So let's look up Area 51, Las Vegas. It's right up here. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, look at the size of that freaking runway.
Yeah, they got a couple of them, man, and they're just huge.
Yeah. 5 miles.
Is it? Nah, they've got a longer one than that, man.
Yeah, it might extend a little bit long.
Well, what happens is a lot of it's on the dry lake bed, and it's painted. It looks just like the desert. Yeah. It's 12 miles. Because they were like, what is here, you know? It's pretty freaking amazing.
They were looking for the flattest place, you know, and the dry lake bed's perfect for that.
Yeah. Yes, sir. It's, let me see here. I'm still looking for something here on the, there's Long Beach. There's what I'm looking for. Here we go.
That's crazy. How many?
Actually looking for, there it is. You can see it clear as day. Here's where the alien base is supposed to be. Man, this is pretty wild looking. I'm going to send you a picture of this, okay? It's right off Pacific Coast Highway, which, man, is the name of that freaking town. Why can't I remember that? Still don't tell you. Man, it's driving me nuts. It's where all the elite rich live in California on the ocean. Why can't I remember the name of this town, man? Darn it. Oh, and it's just ironic that that's where this supposed alien base is.
Not Marina.
You know what I mean? It's really bizarre, Jeremy.
Salinas?
No, darn it, man. It's where all the rich
Monterey?
people... No, man. It's right on
Santa
the beach.
Cruz?
No, it's where all the rich live. I'll know it right away.
Beverly Hills.
No, it's... Damn it. Hold on a minute here. I'm right here, and I can't believe I can't remember the name of it. Pamela Anderson's lived there forever. Not Newport Beach, not Crystal Cove. Oh my God, it begins with a B, I think. Why can't I remember this?
I don't know, man. You're starting to lose me here.
Oh my God. I want to show you this place, man. It's amazing. I've already found it, but they can't find the town. It's where all the stars live.
And there's an alien base here.
Malibu. Yes, I had to think of that song Whole Roads. Malibu. Yeah, man. Hold on. I'm going to send you a picture of it. They've talked about it for years, man. You know, you don't remember them talking about that base? It's exactly 6.66 miles off the coast. It's hilarious. It's like, are you kidding me? And you can see it, man. When you see it, it sticks out like a sore thumb. Now, people have gone out there, Jeremy. It's very strange and tried to scuba dive there, and they get shut down every time.
Why?
Every time. Huh?
They get shut down? Right
Yeah.
here. Right here, right? This is big ball.
Malibu. Yeah, off Malibu.
It's all blurred out.
No, that's not it. Keep coming out. There it is right there. Yes. Now, if you go down and look at it from an angle, it's like they have these giant entrances. What is that? I mean, it's like so bizarre looking. You were just on top of it right there, that big flat point. Right there, man, with the entrance.
This thing.
Yeah.
That looks like an entrance. Yeah.
Go straight in. No, you were there. You're there, man. You were right there.
There's a lot of ledge. It just drops off, but
right
it's
there, man. Right there, that round thinger. Yep,
it's
right
a big
there.
Flat
That's
point. Yeah, it's a big round thing.
What is that? Okay.
It looks like a giant. It looks like a star destroyer at the bottom of the ocean.
Well, it's kind of weird because the rumor has it that they have submarines that go in there and go under the United States, and the ocean runs under. It's not far-fetched to believe that the ocean possibly runs under, portions of the United States, and I'm sure the damn Navy would explore that, as far as they could. Supposedly runs to Nevada.
I don't know about that. No, but hey, that's. Well, I don't see any evidence of it, like an underground.
They take submarines down through there and stuff. I mean, it's a conspiracy theory, yes, but there are people that have come out and said they've been through there. They call them, I think, the tunnels. I mean, just take a look at that once. It's very insane looking. Wouldn't you say?
Malibu.
Yeah, and it's at Malibu of all places where all the rich live. I mean, just think about it once. When I say rich, I mean we're talking about billionaires live there,
Yeah, the people who would be aliens living among us.
Exactly, the ones that are in control. Because it's so funny when people say, "Oh, all we got to do is vote these people out." I laugh.
I laugh at that too.
You actually believe the votes are real? Oh my God, yeah. I have relatives who are like, "Hey, make sure you get out and vote." I'm like, "Why?"
Yeah. I knew voting was fake 20 years ago when they put Kerry against Bush in that election, and they fucking were both Skull and Bones members, and they asked about him on TV. That's right. Right then and there, I knew it was all fake. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And the funniest thing is this: you mean to tell me that the best the Democrats can do is come up with a senile guy named Joe Biden that talks about his fucking dyed hairy legs in the swimming pool and calling the kids cockroaches while they're sitting there? I mean, the guy's so damn senile, he has no idea what's going on, man. So that way, when he's had 2 or 3 aneurysms, they claim in last year, I'm not laughing about that at all, but he has no idea what's going on at all. So when they just want to put whoever they're going to put there, like Hillary Clinton, let's say, they're just going to shove her in there. I mean, they're just going to be like, oh, well, Joe wants Hillary to be in there. Kamala Harris is going to need someone to be with her. Who's it going to be? Nancy Pelosi? I mean, this whole thing is such a joke. Presidents are not elected. They're selected, people.
Yes. It's a deep state.
Exactly.
Just like they shut down Bernie and the DNC put Hillary up because they knew
Hillary
was a damn deep state player and Bernie wasn't.
Yep, and I want to tell you something right now. If they
just like what happened to Ron Paul in 2004.
Yep. Oh, Ron Paul was devastated. Yep. He knows. He has to know.
They gave him 2 minutes of the debate time, and and the other, compared to other candidates. You know what I mean?
They drag you in a room and say, "Are you going to play ball or not play ball?" And then if you say you're going to play ball, then you keep moving on. You keep moving on. And they basically threaten your entire family. I absolutely believe that shit. I believe that they have stuff against people. I believe that Jeffrey Epstein was involved so high with the Israeli Mossad and in freaking in what do you call it? Not extorting, because it was actually extorting, but
I want to know.
It's just so insane, the stuff they throw these models in front of these old perverts, and they male and female, and they'd have sex with them, film it, and just hold it against them forever, and you're done at that point. You're done.
Right.
are
And so
done.
we learn about these conspiracies is that it doesn't take that much to control people completely. All it
Nope.
takes is one sin. The devil's
All it
got your
takes is one
card.
videotape, bro. One
Oh
video.
yeah. Once the devil's
Done.
got your card, bro, you're fucking done. You belong to the
Absolutely.
devil now.
Yes, sir.
You work for the devil.
That's why I just laugh about the elections. It's like, oh man, you got to get out and vote. Really? Okay, why? I mean, like, what for? What reason? What? Tell me what's going to be so. Well, we got to get. People are like, we got to get Trump out of there. Really? They put him in there to cause all this. For Christ's sakes, this was all done on purpose.
Yeah. It reminds me of that Devil's Advocate movie with Keanu Reeves and Al Pacino.
Oh my God, yes, it does. I mean, people just don't get it, man. I hate to, and when I say that, people get mad at me. They're like, "You're crazy." I'm like, "No, I'm not.
Right.
You just haven't read any of this or don't have any clue what's going on." And it makes all the sense in the world, man. Once you start really looking at it.
Oh,
It
if you
just
get
makes-
past the disinformation, the thing is, so many people get caught because there's so much. They set up this net of disinfo to catch you, and as soon as people get turned off by the disinfo, they don't look into the other stuff, and they just lose interest before they can dig deep enough to really get any understanding of.
If I have my ad block turned off, okay, there's not a single video that I click on that doesn't have Joe Biden on here lately, and it's
Not how it really works, Metatron. All right, let's talk about how it really works, bro. Once you rape one little kid, or friggin', and they get it on tape, dude, you're doing everything they fucking say.
darn right.
And it doesn't matter if they tell you to lie about nanothermite or molten steel at the World Trade Center or what it is, dude. They're going to get you to lie about it. And what they're going to do is they're also going to take the Mick Wests out there, the people that are promoting the official story and being the debunkers, and they're going to send them fucking tons of money privately, and they're going to fund these people, like, massively. So, like... And I don't want that to get in anyone's ear that they can actually make money by becoming a debunker or setting up things, you know, like, but that's what happens, bro. They fund the disinformation people. They have people like Alex Jones who sent that dude money to go harass Sandy Hook friggin' families, you know,
COINTELPRO.
for COINTELPRO. Exactly. Yep. That's how COINTELPRO works, brother.
Yeah.
This is how the name of the intelligence game is. Just is so much of it going on.
Oh, I know, man. I'll just tell you, man. I learned years ago. It's all a game, and I was absolutely well. I learned it along with you, man. At the same time.
Yeah. I used to believe a lot more stuff too, and then you become more skeptical over the years as you research things and you get in more debates and you learn more stuff. But there's something I won't believe that is, you know, like, no matter what about that Roswell stuff, dude, that weather balloon is the cover story.
I know it is. I know it is. I was saying that to my one.
Like, think about it, bro. Like, logically, how could there be that much with what Jesse Marcel says? All right, how could there be that much debris from a weather balloon? And how could he have fucking... He says right in the thing, he knew all Air Force materials. He's an Air Force intelligence officer. How did he get it mixed up?
Yeah, there's no way he would mix Mylar up with, you know...
That memory foil. Everyone reported that memory foil, including the fire department and the fire department's daughter.
Go back to it once and show the part where he says, there's no doubt in my mind that it was not from this earth. So...
Yeah.
I really doubt that if it was Mylar, he would confuse that. Let me look once. Jesse Marcel Sr., because his, you know, dude, his his son just died, you know, in the last several years.
Really? Jesse Marcel Jr.?
Yeah, his son was still a doctor in the reserves, and they had him over in Iraq, for goodness sakes, and it was killing him. Did you know that? He was still active as a doctor over there in the military. I mean, he was too old to be over there, you know?
Yeah. Oh, this is him saying it. His own words.
Yeah, man, play that once. Oh, and this is a great... I know what this is from, too. I can't hear it, man. You can't hear it, bro.
Yeah, you can't hear it.
I want to hear what he says, please.
They put the volume down wicked low. But yeah, I have it in the other video if you guys want to watch it, and I got the clear clip of it. But he comes out and he says that he
Here,
was they
one.
posed him, they sat him down with a weather balloon and made him take those photos, and that's not the material that he recovered.
Dan Wilmot.
Yep,
You even have I have the witness testimony. There's a whole bunch of witness testimony, including the firefighter's daughter, Rose or whatever her name was.
Yeah, hang on a second here. I got it.
So I want to. Where's the other one? Then there's Frank Kaufman. Everyone says he's a liar. I don't know if the people trust Frank Kaufman. He seems like he capitalized on the situation. But Jesse Marcel Jr. He talks about this material. He said this is mylar from a weather balloon, and you know that video I'm talking about where he's like, this is mylar from a weather balloon, and blah blah blah. And he's like, for the record, this is not the material I saw on the floor.
Right.
You know what I mean? He says this is not the material that my dad came home, and when he stopped at home, he came and showed me. You know what I mean?
Here we go, Jeremy. Take a listen and tell me this once. Listen to what I listen. You should be able to hear it. Are you ready? First people on site at Roswell. Listen to what he says.
A UFO, a weather balloon, a radar reflecting kite.
It's not anything from this earth that I'm quite sure of. Because I was being in the intelligence office, I was familiar with just about all the materials used in aircraft and our air travel. This is nothing like that. It could not be. It could not have been.
Now, it could not have been. That was like 1980.
Okay, so remember, he's saying that 1980 yet. So he was exposed to everything that came out after that and still says not anything he had seen of this Earth. So what on earth was it? Or I shouldn't say on Earth. What was it?
Well, as I said, I've never seen any kind of material that could be described, you know, like that was similar, except for that metallic glass. And when I saw that metallic glass, I was like, holy shit, it's the memory foil.
I know, it's amazing. And it turns out I have a relative that's actually an expert, or that's actually one of the people that studied this.
Yeah, you got to see if we can't get a hold of them.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
There's been books written. I mean, it blew me away at first. It's like, wow, you want to talk about synchronicity, entanglement, whatever you want to call it. Wow. I mean, I was blown away by that. I didn't even realize it.
Right, he makes the spring out of it in the video by heating it, and then, you know, he puts it under this, and it just, as soon as...
One way it's a spring, and then the other way, if they flip it around, it snaps, right?
That's the regular metal. That's
Okay.
like a regular piece of titanium. This is the metallic glass. Look at it.
Look at the weight and the strength on it.
It just goes boing. It's crazy, dude. I got to get some of this stuff. It's only $30 for a roll. I was looking at it right when you logged on. I'm gonna buy some of this it was on Etsy.
That reminds me exactly what they said would happen. They would they would, grab it, push it together, and it would spring right back. You know?
And that's not Mylar. That is not Mylar. It's not it could not have been a weather balloon, dude. They lied and they covered up the real materials. There's no question in my mind. It was a cover story.
The child, when she saw it, she was about 8 years old. So she was born around 1940. She'd be 80 now. I can't remember her name. She's still around. A lot of the witnesses are gone, you know.
Yeah, and that's why they're trying to cover it up, man. I'm so curious what Cal Korff was going off about on Twitter the other day about Roswell and stuff.
Got something on your screen there, because I don't know what you're talking about, and I know Cal.
Let me find him what he was saying on there. This is really cool because
he's supposedly a straight shooter, you know.
Supposedly a straight shooter, but he doesn't. He doesn't. He thinks that Project Mogul explains everything about Roswell, and I'm just breaking it down why it doesn't. You know what I mean?
Oh, he says what explains Roswell? The glass.
He's saying Project Mogul explains Roswell, that it was a weather balloon.
So.
See, I don't know. I mean, he does some good work, and I trust him on some things. You know what I mean? He did great on the Billy Meyer stuff. You know, his Billy Meyer infiltration of the Billy Meyer cult and all that was, spot on and good. You know, authentic journalism and research. But I don't know. He's just so opinionated and hard headed on going. You know, that this Roswell thing's, wrong.
Yeah, just because, just because he thinks that he's got that solved, don't mean he's got it solved.
No, it doesn't. He just wants to, but he's got to be this debunker who's got the thing. But he likes to pretend and think that he's got it solved and all figured out. But I got to find the thing he was talking about the other day because he was going
bizarre. I know that much.
I tagged him in a thing about Roswell, and he went off about it.
On Twitter, huh? See, I don't have Twitter. I need to get it.
Yeah, Twitter kind of sucks, man. It's hard to follow posts, and then they cut threads. So, like, if you're talking about conspiracy stuff, they cut up the threads on purpose to censor it, so you can't get it. You don't know what people are talking about, So someone responds back and like, "Oh, where's the source for that?" And you're like, "Well, what are you talking about?" Because I can't even find it anymore.
Yeah, you can't even find it. See, whenever I've tried to look something on Twitter, it doesn't even allow me on there for a certain amount of time because I'm not a freaking member. It says you sign up, and I'm like, man, I'm in enough freaking groups. I don't know that I want to be on Twitter, and I haven't signed up yet. One thing
I can't find it.
But it's like, damn it, now I have something else to keep track of. It's like, do I really?
Yeah, I know. It's just like the Discord thing was like that. It was a headache, man. There's so many people were coming on my Discord server and just bombarding me with crap. I was like, no, I'm all set, man. I'll talk to the
Discord. That's how funny it is. I didn't. Wrong, huh?
And then I couldn't delete the thing off my computer. It was just stayed on in the background constantly. I couldn't shut it down. I couldn't exit the program. It was permanently embedded into my hardware on my machine. And I had to literally uninstall Windows and reinstall Windows to get it off my computer.
Are you serious? That's how bad it was.
Discord, yeah. I'll never use it again on my computer. Maybe I could put it on my phone like an app or something, but I will never put it on an operating system ever again after what it did.
Wow.
Just constantly running in the background. It's like a constant thing. You cannot exit out of it. You can't shut it down. It's just constantly there.
I never downloaded the program then. I have it on my phone, but what I did was I would just open the website up and log in.
Whatever, it doesn't matter. There's too many other platforms. We're just going to stick with what we got, and we're doing fine. YouTube's kind of getting shut down too. It's turning into a complete friggin', it's just going to turn into another mainstream, television network. It's pretty much the way YouTube's going.
There's, sooner or later something new is going to come along, and no one's going to come back to YouTube. Too many people have had bad experiences.
They shut down all my monetization and my ability to make money off videos. And they shut down all. The shadow bans are ridiculous. I can't even find my videos in searches. I type the name of my videos word for word, and they don't come up in the search results. I have to scroll down 30 fucking pages to find my videos. That's how shadow banned it is. It's ridiculous. It's like, why did...
I had gotten one message that you were on live. That was it. That's it.
They don't want people knowing about this stuff. They don't want people going to Congress and being like, go after Battelle, the metamaterials, and the memory foil, and find out where this material went and start pressuring Congress to open up Battelle. Battelle's this private contractor. It's completely unreachable and untouchable by FOIA. And they've existed since the 1920s.
You're not talking about Bechtel. You're talking about
Battelle Memorial Institute, not Bechtel Raytheon, but Battelle. There's another military contractor called Bechtel, but that's not this one. That's not what I'm talking about. They have private nonprofit status. They're unreachable by FOIA. So it's private nonprofit, and they have contracts, and they operate all our national labs.
Where
they oversee
this place in?
They co-manage on behalf of the United States Department of Energy. They co-manage all of our national laboratories, which means they can cancel research if researchers or scientists get too close to stuff like they're not supposed to. They can cancel their fucking research, bro. They can go and cancel the funding. They can go and reassign the scientists to other things, and it happens all the time. I talk to scientists from our national laboratories quite often. They watch my show. They fucking contact me because they're frustrated with all the bullshit that goes on.
Wow. So obviously they pay their employees, but they're not out to make money. Is what you're saying? It's a.
Well, it's they say they're not out to make money, but they're not. It's kind of like. It's kind of like how the Rockefellers hid a lot of their wealth by creating all those private institutions. Again, the Council on Foreign Relations, all these private institutions were set up by the Rockefellers, to basically hide their money and spread their spread their influence and control.
How big is Battelle? I mean, how much money's there? I mean, it's got to be huge if that's the case.
So they have 3,200 employees, almost over 30,000 from national labs. So like, if you count all the national labs people under them, they're like 30,000, but they're really just 3,200 employees. They have a headquarters in Columbus, Ohio, and they have a couple other headquarters around, including one in Massachusetts here in Norwell. Interesting enough. I was thinking about actually going by there and trying to, interview people or talk to them and get information or something, but, I also don't want to get killed.
That's true. Well, those kind of places scare the shit out of me.
Right.
Man.
This is fucking the Men in Black's headquarters, bro.
I'm supposed to work for one of these contractors. Remember what happened? Fucking interviewed me, said I was hired, and then I wasn't fucking hired. I'm like, what the fuck's going on? I think they looked into my background, didn't like me talking about triangles is what I think they didn't like.
So they have Aberdeen, Maryland, West Jefferson, Ohio, Seattle, Washington, Arlington, Virginia, Norwell, Massachusetts, Charlottesville, Virginia, Baltimore, Maryland, Boulder, Colorado, and Egg Harbor Township, New Jersey. So they have a bunch of headquarters all over the U.S.
I never even heard of them.
Right, and you never even heard of these people, but you think about it, right? With headquarters like that, this would be a perfect place to, that they, if they had crash retrievals, they just bring them to the place like this. But I don't know if that's really what goes on here. I wouldn't want to, make that stretch of the imagination. I don't think crash retrievals are that often, and that they happen that often that they need to do this. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I just saw that tape up at the top. Is that the metallic glass?
Yeah, you can buy some on Etsy, right here, $24. I got it right here. I'm gonna after I get off the live stream, I'm gonna order some, $30 for a roll of it. Why not? Okay, I can't wait to experiment with some of that stuff. So they have offices here. This is a place in, where's this? Battelle Engineering Consultant in Natick. There's an environmental program over there, and this is a business center in Norwell. This is where they are, right down here off of Route 3. In Mass here. Interesting place, I don't know if they have a loading dock or a facility large enough to hide a craft in. I don't really see that here. Not like they could load one into here, but I don't think that's what happens anyway. I'm pretty sure there's got to be some faction of the military which handles these crash retrievals or something, because these guys were definitely used as consultants, you know what I mean? They're metallurgy experts. They were probably sent materials to study and for analysis. And
place, man, holy crap!
Huh?
Look at all the parking and stuff there, and all them buildings are them, huh?
No, this is a public school, charter school thing here. There's a medical facility here.
Show me their biggest facility. You into this place. Let me see their biggest place. Like what?
All right, so their biggest one's in
Ohio.
Ohio. That's their headquarters in Ohio.
Let's take a look. I want to see it.
Right. So Battelle in Ohio is right here in Columbus. So Columbus Center.
All right.
Right. Go right up Route 115 or there. What is it? 315. And you got it's right off between 5th Avenue and King Ave. And this is it right here on the screen, man. Shoo. They got a Battelle lab here. Columbus Collaboratory. There's a software company there. They develop software out of there. So I got a bunch of...
How come you've never heard of this place before? I'm going to ask Michael Schratt right now to text. He's not answering for some reason. Let me text him.
They got some serious air handling or facilities here. Like, these air handlers are not normal air handlers. This almost looks like... This reminds me of the ammonium... anhydrous ammonia, what's it called? The refrigeration systems I've seen at
fresh air system they're pumping in and out of somewhere because they're either now I've dealt with stuff like that in fields I've been involved in Something like that would be some type of fresh air units for something very serious going on, maybe painting or something.
Nah, they ought to have clean rooms.
There's
They
incredible.
probably have clean rooms.
Well, okay, look there. You see them big giant fans there? That's their air conditioning systems. Does that go? Yeah, look over
No,
there.
that's too much for an air conditioning system. That's way too many pipes.
Oh, I know.
this is like a typical AC system on a building. It might be a
Right.
little bit more advanced with that. Look, they got some piping for some serious air handling, right? Look at all these other buildings. They just have a couple units on the roof for an air handle. These units right here are usually the AC units or the air handlers. They're just a big box on the roof.
Right.
They don't have these massive, 24-inch pipes, linking stuff around this. There's 4 air handles. This looks like they might be the AC units and stuff.
Oh boy.
I wish I knew someone who was more of an expert in this stuff, because what this one reminds me of here, right? This stuff. Look at this shit. That reminds me of this place I worked in Franklin. Right here, this facility that makes milk. Gorelick Farms. Where is the Gorelick Farms in Franklin? No, that's not it. It's in. So here it is. Okay, so here's Gorelick Farms in Franklin. Oh, it's a little more serious than that. They got the milk stacks out front. And they got all these. It's a little more serious for the.
Yeah.
All right, so it's not like that serious. Because they have like a whole refrigeration system on the whole plant. Has to be refrigerated, and it's ammonia, and it's very dangerous. And there was an accident there a couple of years back that caused them to have safety measures. OSHA made them do a whole bunch of updates, and I was there working on that. But yeah, it's not quite that serious. But let's look up. I would like to look up places that have clean rooms, and there's definitely some serious air handling.
How do you spell the name of it? Bettelle?
Battelle.
Oh, that's what's wrong. Battelle.
Yeah, it was founded by a guy named Gordon Battelle. He was a industrialist and a metallurgist, rich guy.
Contractor, and they're not a non-profitable, right?
Yeah, they're a non-profit. And they're considered an independent research and development organization, but they do all kinds of metallurgy studies for them. They help build the plutonium cores for the atom bombs for the Manhattan Project.
Yeah, no one even knows about it. It's crazy. I've never ever heard anybody say, "Well, I've worked for Battelle." I've never heard that ever.
Yeah, it's a small company, dude. There's not a lot of people, and it's only scientists. It's only like research scientists and stuff directly for the government and stuff,
Yeah.
which is really kind of
MR, man. It's probably where the best of the best are.
Yeah, it might be, dude. I mean, definitely their metallurgists are something. So they're doing agribusiness. They do cannabis research, encapsulation, formation, environmental fate, spray drift, and droplet characterization. They do scientific data packages for researches, air, water, and soil analysis assessment, and remediation. They also were building masks, I know, for the friggin' and sanitizing masks for the COVID thing, because I saw a whole thing on that. They do analytic chemistry, material science, characterizations, coatings, compounds and structures, corrosion studies, nanoparticles and materials. They do all kinds of stuff, dude. National security, aviation and aerospace technologies, chemical and biological defense systems, cyber innovations, ground tactical systems, maritime technologies.
Wow. Their name's interesting too because it's Battelle. It's like battle, in like Italian or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like
and in the 40s, you say?
20s, dude.
By a guy named Gordon.
They were started actually. It's 1929. They were started. I was in the 30s, but it's actually the 20s.
Systems Alliance LLC. That's the same company. Wow.
Yeah, what's interesting is they do a lot of stuff through Lawrence Livermore Labs, and they're connected with the Washington Group International, which is something that came up in my 9/11 research. These guys were connected to Bush family. Heavily
Well,
connected to the bush.
companies, they can divide themselves up and make them look like, oh, they're not that big, and they can be divided up into 100 different companies and end up
Yeah.
being 100,000 employees, and you won't know about it. It's
Right.
just typing them in, the amount of stuff that's come up with. I'm under careers right now, out of Columbus, Ohio. Revenue is 6.2 billion, Jeremy, with 3,200 employees. That's pretty darn good.
That's quite a bit of money for a nonprofit, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, man, I don't understand that.
There's some shit going on here, bro. And like they don't talk about it. They don't want people talking about it. They don't want people to know about it. They want everyone chasing A-Tip and friggin' and and Lou Elizondo. And it's
Yeah.
junk. It's junk. It's all a bunch of junk, dude.
I don't say.
Anyways, this place, man. Imagine if one of these fucking buildings has that Roswell saucer in it. It's like there's one of these buildings full of fucking debris somewhere on a lockdown. You know? Could you imagine?
Oh my gosh, I don't even want to know.
Like this friggin' place right across the street. It's a big indescript dumpster building with I mean something like. They'd have to have more security on a place like that, man. There's no way,
Parking lots, like, where is that? Is that what river? Oh, that's just a little river there.
Oh, the
The
Tangy.
parking lot is staggering there. What are they, like apartments right on the property and shit?
No, it doesn't look like it. I bet you a lot of the employees live in these cul-de-sacs around here and stuff, though.
Yeah, I guarantee you they do. I know people live in Columbus. I'm going to ask if they know anyone who works there.
So this Ohio State University is right next door. So this is Ohio State University. So they probably they'd probably have some collaboration with the university being that close. You know
There's
what I mean?
a lot of pharmaceutical stuff going on there. That could explain the air. Remember, you've got to have a level 4 or whatever. They do biological stuff.
Oh yeah, they got clean rooms and they do all kinds of stuff
Yeah,
here.
that could be why the air induction systems are like.
Right, that's what I'm thinking because they're not as serious as that system at Garelick Farms for like a refrigeration system, but it is pretty serious air handler units.
Well,
Look at the size of these friggin' towers, dude.
yeah, Michael Schratt knows who they are. We are live on Alien Scientist.
Oh yeah, yeah. Michael Schratt's probably heard of him on.
Message me.
Very, very interesting stuff, man.
What do you know? He'll probably write me like a page worth of stuff. So hang on a second.
Right.
I just asked him. I said, "What's the deal?"
All right, let's go right down on street level. Holy crap, we're looking right at this place. Battelle.
There he goes. He says, "No details." Sure, you don't.
Sure, Michael. Let's take a drive around this fucking place, huh? Let's go, Google Earth. I love looking at classified shit.
Yeah. Literally. No shit.
They got cops right here. Oh, they're directing traffic.
I'm sure they got military there.
Alright, so let's see what we got here. So they got looks like a Pelco Spectra 3. Security camera up on that corner post.
Mm-hmm.
That's a real high quality camera. If it's not even something a little better. So they got some. Look at this. These are the 12-foot fences with barbed wire over them in the back to go down the bike path.
That place has got something very special going on there.
Oh, we can go down the bike path? There's definitely some special things going on here.
Ask Michael if you ever heard of metallic glass.
I wonder how the Google truck went down this bike path, man.
Yeah, how did they do that? Because you're not allowed up. Although those bastards, man, they've got those cameras, those Nikons or whatever. I'm sure oh yeah, they were there. You can see the shadow from
They went down the bike path.
them.
Oh, where's their shadow?
It's there.
This is weird, man. Look at these. Oh, this is people planning their escape, so when they go and steal the memory foil, they can, go right out here.
There, how did they go in?
Yeah, for real. Look at this. This is Battelle right here. So that's that corner
Yeah.
building. That's that corner building I seen.
Yeah.
Look, they got that's no security perimeter though. It's just a 6-foot wooden fence, dude.
Well, Google Earth will jump that. They don't care. They'll just say, "I'm Google Earth. Who are you?"
All right, so here's the back corner of it. They got the construction going on out here. The dumpster. It looks like just landscaping stuff in the dumpster. Oh, there's another camera up in the parking lot I just seen right there. Those are downspouts for the rain. No. Yeah, I don't know. So let me zoom back out here.
Yeah, I mean, I've got the metallic glass.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't think he's probably ever. I've never heard him talk about metallic glass, and he's, he just the Roswell thing to him. He talks about it. I'm gonna at least send this to him, see what he thinks.
Yeah, that's super interesting because I've never seen a material that behaved the way those Roswell witnesses described that material behaving, and then when I seen that metallic glass, I'm like, this could be it. Is this it? Is this it? Maybe it is. Let's find out because it's certainly a whole lot more plausible than Mylar, and it's very out of place material for 1947. Out there in the desert. So. Oh. Oh, here's their main entrance, dude. I mean, their back entrance. There's not enough security at this place for them to have that friggin' Roswell debris here, unless they're just a security by obscurity. Nobody knows it's there.
How do you know what's open anymore in there? A lot of these big, like there's a giant company down the street from me. It used to be what's called Borg Warner, and it's not anymore. It's at one of those big electronics companies, one of the biggest in the world. In the United States has it now, but they don't fill up near the building that they once did. Then it became, I don't think it became because then people know where I live.
Well, here's something interesting, right? This looks like the old loading dock for the place, and they bricked up these loading entrances.
Oh, that was loading entrances, huh?
So they might have had a bigger loading dock here at one point, a much larger entrance, and a much bigger loading thing. So this might be where it loaded from. This looks like there's still loading docks here. They can pull trucks right up to these ports and load stuff in these buildings, and there's cameras on them too. So it says private property. Oh my God, there's an alien in the window. They're all working there.
Thought he was an extraterrestrial. Remember that?
Yeah, right.
And it was the way his voice was so monotone. I was kind of freaked out too. I'm like, because you were joking. We were both kind of joking around, like, hey, what if we meet Michael? Because we never met him face to face before. And we were like, what if he's an extraterrestrial? And he kind of sounded like one, man. I was getting kind of concerned. I was like, holy shit. Hang on a second here, Jeremy. I think my food's here.
Interesting. These are definitely older houses that were built way back in the day. Look at this Victorian style roof, this big turret. Very interesting. There's shipping and receiving. Yeah, this is a very interesting place, yeah. Look at the size of this parking lot, man. Like you were saying, man, this is like... Holy crap. I didn't even know that this building was that. It's like... That's 4 stories, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9... 9 stories with a 10th penthouse kind of thing. This is a very large place, dude. Patel Building 3. Anyways, man, it's been cool. It's a fun Labor Day. Fun way to spend Labor Day. Looking at Google Earth. Checking out these places, man. All right, how's everyone doing in the live stream down there? How's everyone doing? Man, I can't believe... The only problem is it shatters. No, it only shatters when you heat it up. You guys have lost the plot. Storm Area 51 didn't work. Let's storm Battelle. Oh, man. Yeah, let's apply for a job, and you know, some people go out and get jobs there, get in, and start asking around about where they hide the extraterrestrials.
Yeah, they're here.
Yeah, they're here. I can't believe I've been on for 3.
The elevator, and I said, you know, what if we see some ETs? And Michael was like, oh, they're here. Yep. I said about the Men in Black first. He's like, oh yeah, they're here. Yep. You know how to do it.
Yep. Oh, yeah, dude. I got to get Michael on. We got to get Michael on again.
Oh, the guy's such a wealth of knowledge. I mean, you think you know something, and you talk to him, you're just like, oh, my God. You know, we're talking about a guy that spends his free time. He'll take vacation and go and study all this stuff. And he goes right to the locations, interviews everybody. Man, this guy's got 3 buildings filled with UFO material. Now, I'm not going to mention a name, but there's another guy out there that's a UFO researcher that's probably around the same age that has more stuff than Michael does, and I found that hard to believe. He does. And there's like a race to see who can get the most. And Trad has 3 buildings filled with UFO material. 3 buildings. Now,
not UFO crash material. You're talking about files and documents and stuff. Yeah.
He goes and buys collections of, like, you know, you got to understand something. Years ago, people, you know, before computers and all that, the stuff was all...
They just have files and big files on all this shit. And then those people would die and their kids would sell their estates. And Michael goes in and buys them up.
Stanton Friedman's collection must be insane because it's in Canada. They're putting it in a library from the town he was from. And they estimate it's going to take 10 years to catalog it and get it up straightened out. They're going to have to add on to the library. It's that much stuff.
Leonard David, right? I'm looking up him. He's working on that Stanton Friedman thing. The library. Holy Christ.
Yeah, there's a number of people up there. What's his name? Nutter Grant Cameron is too. And the reason I say Nutter is Grant Cameron believes everything. The guy has no filter at all. None. I can't support people like that, man. They just, even if you put evidence right in their face, they don't care. It's like, man, dude, the guy degrees from Caltech, well, they hit him. Bullshit.
Yeah, no, there's so many people that defend Lazar no matter what, and Stanton was right in questioning Lazar and speaking out against Lazar, and even though it ruined his career because the disinformation was just so strong. But he's gonna have his day, dude. Jeremy Corbell's going down. He's gonna be back unclogging toilets.
Yeah, just like toilets unclogged. If he would not have lied about the degrees, the story would not have gained any traction. That's why he did it. People are like, why would he lie about the degrees? Because the story would not have gone anywhere. That's why.
Yeah, it had to with that. Holy Christ! Look at this picture of him with all this files, dude. His office was a disaster.
Oh my God, yeah. Look at that. Oh my God.
People used to just send him all kinds of shit, dude. I imagine just like,
He got a lot of that on his own though too, you know.
oh yeah,
Oh yeah.
oh yeah. I wish my office needs to look like that, man. Why don't you guys send me some stuff?
See, that's what's so crazy. Nowadays, they destroy a hard drive. That's why you got to keep a backup hard drive hooked up at all times.
Yeah. Whenever I get something good, I'm like, I download it, I save it somewhere else. I put it on the clouds too. We got those file shares now. We get the archive going with our team, so it's good. I share a lot of stuff. I got some good stuff on that memory metal, man. On that metallic glass. I got a whole bunch of good files on it. And the links in the description to all this stuff too, and this PDFs I'm finding on all this shit, dude. It's crazy. Here's another one. I'll post this for the DARPA link to some metallic glass stuff research from DARPA. Here you guys go. Careful where you share that.
Yeah. Hold on a minute. Something weird just happened.
Yo, can you believe this stuff is like was super classified and it's coming out? The science is like coming out in the mainstream, dude. If that was metallic glass and it was used in this Roswell craft as for whatever it was, and it's coming out now that we know what these materials are, man, this is gonna change everything in the next couple of years. I really hope something develops out of this, and if it's, I don't know. I still think that metallic glass thing wasn't related to the drive or the warp drive or the propulsion end of the thing. Although it would be interesting to try to make some cavities with that material. And we're definitely going to try doing that next. As soon as I order it. I'm going to get offline here soon and get ordering. Man, we got 100 people watching. This is crazy. Yeah, the most interesting property is just the strength of them. Go to the Caltech website on bulk metallic glass development. Check that elastic limit versus the strength limit on that graph there, and look up some of the stuff they got here. It's incredibly strong material. It's incredibly durable, which is why I think it was like the craft's airbag system. You know what I mean? I really think it was something to do with the the crash. You know. Crash prevention. It was like, I don't know, maybe this was the giant solar sail that gets, you know, they crumple it all up inside the thing and then they let it out, and it stretches out in this giant solar sail, or you know, there's all kinds of theories.
Have you ever heard?
No, till we know.
It's
stupid speculation though. It's pointless speculation at this point until we get some more science. I got to talk to your friend there who's the expert on this material and get more information about, you know, the research. She's got to be the one to talk to next.
Oh, I agree with you there. You know, what about, Jeremy, what about, oh, darn it, what was I going to say? What's his name? I was watching him last night, man, the guys. Walter Bosley, what about, what do you think of what he has to say about, he claims that the whole Roswell thing, and is what I always thought, was some type of test that our government was doing.
Well, if this was our material, then we're going to find evidence for that too, because Battelle would have been the experts and the metallurgists. If it's an advanced metal, this amorphous metal, and some type of advanced military metal test, Battelle's going to know something about it. They were probably the ones behind it. Maybe it went back to them afterward because it was theirs to begin with. You know, it might not be alien. I'm not married to that any hypothesis, any one, you know, conclusion here. I'm just going by the facts, and the facts should tell me that the weather balloon was a cover story. The debris area was too large, and the debris descriptions from all these independent witnesses doesn't match Mylar. It doesn't match the weather balloon story.
I agree with you there.
Area.
Definitely agree with you there.
Descript.
So.
Way.
So what is it? It's not. I don't know. It might not be alien. It might be ours. It might be we developed some of this material way back when, and we were flying kites made of it.
What's so interesting is their first statement. It says it was an alien flying saucer. I mean.
Yeah, that is really curious.
You know,
First
and then
report.
something slammed their fist down. Now we've got to look back in history. Has this ever happened again where the government made a statement about something, retracted and put disinformation in? Yes, that's happened. But never with UFOs or anything. I mean, this is really serious shit. I mean, and it's just bizarre. That first, if you can pull the first newspaper article up and read it once, it's pretty interesting. I used to have a copy of it sitting here.
So also, we was talking about, Dark Journalist was talking about Terrence J. O'Shaughnessy, too, in last night's thing, and he mentioned that he had given a speech on television and was asked a question about, like, the zombie apocalypse drill, because they were staging apparently they were staging drills where, like, the zombies were going to invade Cheyenne Mountain. And then that Area 51 stuff, the raid Area 51 thing, like, started up right after that. It was almost like they were trying to see if people would actually go for it and get behind, something like that. You know what I mean? If they started it.
Absolutely.
Very, very interesting series of things that were going on. But apparently during one of those things, they had asked him about the Cheyenne Mountain thing, and he had said something about lots of rich and high level people going in and out and making plans, and it's like, and then that's right when he got removed and replaced with someone else. So I think there's some talk that he might have slipped out a little bit about talking about Cheyenne Mountain and these doomsday bunkers, and that all these elites are secretly planning for some big thing.
Yeah.
And remember, we talked to Michael about that too, the doomsday bunkers, and he talks to a lot of people. I don't know. There's some shit going on with that, dude, and the whole Denver airport as the tunnels, they all fly to Denver airport, and there's a tunnel connecting it right to Cheyenne Mountain from Denver airport underground.
I mean, they didn't need a new airport, and it was, they built the underground facility while building the airport at the same time. They said it took like 8 years too long to get it done, and it's really cool stuff, man.
I flew out of that airport. I've been there.
Did you see all the weird stuff out there?
Yeah, I took pictures of all the murals and stuff.
Oh, that's right. You showed me that stuff. That's crazy, huh?
Yeah, these places that look like entrances that open up like secret, It's crazy stuff goes. Like, apparently that's where all the elites will fly to, in the continuity of government program will go to, and they have a whole city underneath the mountains where they go to. It's all connected underground right here, and that when the doomsday button gets hit, they all fly. They're all going to jump on planes and fly here.
Yeah, and then you have Aurora, Colorado, and that's the name of the craft, Aurora.
And then they were having a whole drill to test on a bunch of these people trying to storm the mountain facility, and get in there.
When was that? When was that drill?
I got to look that one up, man.
Remember that. And they used that. I remember Alex Jones talking about that.
Yeah, right? Elephant rescue drill. I don't know where the heck it is.
Simulations are when crazy stuff happens, still,
Right. They do these simulations, and then the simulations and the drills go live. Every false flag event always has tons of these. They have tons of drills for the exact same thing going on at the same time, so it confuses all the emergency responders.
Right.
Just like they had like the Tripod 2 drill on 9/11, the 7/7 bombings. They had drills for for bombings that going on at the same time. There's a bunch of different examples, but anyways. Alien, I wish I could say all the clips in my mind that I know of. The others have spoken about it for a while. I know you see a lot of stuff if you could you like save it all up over the years and play it all, man, and it's nuts. It gets nuts because you get these little bits and pieces of the key information, and it's about linking it and stringing it all together. Like, I would never have, if I seen that metallic glass, I would never have thought anything of it if I hadn't heard, spent so much time researching Roswell and listening to those witness descriptions. Jesse Marcel recanted his story, dude. He went back.
What's the thickest they can make that metallic glass? What's the thickest they can make it? Or has anyone ever made it thicker than like an inch to see?
Yeah, they've made big blocks of it. Yeah.
That would be incredibly strong, right?
So let me go back to this. Yeah, it's incredibly strong. This article right here. So if you go to this 2007 paper, You can go down to page here. It shows a good example of the temperature and the critical cooling rate. Conventional metallic glasses, BMG, and silicate glass. So you know, like it shows the cooling rate has to be. This is the time in I don't know RG what that unit is, but this would be the time. So the shorter the cooling time, you get these metallic glasses for that critical cooling rate. And here's a phase diagram down here that shows like how to get the right phase.
What's it made of?
Right here.
What all do you need? What all elements or compounds do you need to make this stuff?
Zirconium, titanium, copper, nickel, and beryllium.
No, it's going to be expensive to make.
I mean, the titanium maybe. I don't know. These are not very expensive metals, really. I don't know how expensive it would be to make.
Titanium would kill you. You know, I mean that's expensive.
I don't know. It can't be that expensive to make because I can buy a freaking roll of it for $30 on friggin' Etsy.
And that doesn't weigh that much, though. Well, that's what it all depends on how much titanium is there compared to whatever else. It's obviously not 80% titanium. Titanium probably plays what? A very small factor in the percentage? It's probably like, what, 5% maybe? I mean, I'm just guessing.
I don't know the price of all these metals, price per pound of titanium. Was it fourth? Yeah, that's probably the most expensive. Because titanium is really expensive.
Yeah.
But
yeah, man. It's got some properties that are pretty interesting.
yeah, and zirconium based. There's a lot of zirconium based bulk glasses. Zirconium seems to be a big thing.
They found there in that video, Jeremy, just blew me away. I could not believe it. It didn't like put a crease in it. And its tensile strength, it could have snapped in half, but it didn't. So it didn't cease it. It bounced right back, which really shocked me. I watched it a bunch of times. And then when it was in a ball, it like bounces up and down. Like, I mean, it just
I got to get some of the stuff. I have to get some, and I'm going to give you some to play with.
Absolutely, so you can... man. I'll buy a roll with you, man. Let's buy some tonight. Get off of here, bro.
Fuck yeah. Watch the price going to go up on this shit now that we're doing the... that other video's got 300,000 subscribers, man. It's probably already...
Start selling the shit, you know? I thought you were going to tell me we got to go through him to buy it, you know?
No, it's right on Etsy. That's where he bought it. He shows where he bought it in the video, you know? Get some of the stuff.
Lazar does have some really cool stuff for sale, you know? He's on top of all that
We got to go to Bob. We got to buy it from Bob, man. You know what? I think Bob, you might be right about Bob being the disinformation agent, though, because how better to keep tabs on all that stuff if he was the one running it, so he can report, you know, everyone gets reported who's buying it, you know?
Huh? Imagine the emails.
I always wonder about, you know, buying shit from United Nuclear if I'm going to get put on the list, because, you know.
Yeah, I mean, Bob's very sketchy, man. The FBI's always over there. He's fucking been in trouble pimping women out. You know, it's just, people are like, oh, Bob would never do that. I'm like, yeah, he does, you know. I mean,
I have no clue.
Was into, you know, he had a problem with hookers. It's just, you know, no big deal. I think hookers should be legal. I think
they are in Las Vegas, aren't they?
That he can't pick a woman up, that he should have the right to go buy one if he wants to, you know. But
they are in most of Las Vegas. He was just operating in a place where it wasn't allowed. Apparently, I thought like in other places in Las Vegas you can legally go and get a hooker.
Not in the city of Las Vegas. The Nevada, they have it legal in a lot of places, but for some reason in Las Vegas it's illegal all over.
Huh.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the deal is. It has to do with the gambling industry and the contracting, between contracting and gambling. If contracting went away, you know, it would hurt Vegas big time. But if gambling went away, you know, Vegas, gambling controls the entire town.
So people were talking about this and the difference between this and graphene. They were like, oh no, graphene's the real super material. This is like, you know, the real super material. But even graphene, you know, even if you had an absolutely pure and perfect sheet of graphene with no defects in the crystal lattice, it would still have quantum fluctuations that would throw it off. So I don't know. It's like literally impossible to make a pure sheet of perfectly pure sheet of graphene. You know, a perfect sheet of graphene. And I don't know necessarily that graphene is a stronger material than this, or if it's better than this. You know, at certain things. I don't know enough about the material science. I'm going to investigate it. I just learned about these.
Show me graphene. That was like 10, 12 years ago. I was so blown away.
Yeah. Graphene's amazing stuff. I can't wait to ask your professor friend about all this stuff, man. She's going to be amazing.
Absolutely. We need to do that. I'll get you the email address.
Yeah, let's get off the stream and then let's go talk some business and stuff. All right, let's get this.
Stream down and stay on here with me. I'll put my camera on.
I will. All right, guys. Thanks for watching, and please stay tuned. We're gonna get to the bottom of this and dig, man. And I really hope that, you know, if anyone has information out there, anyone works for Battelle or works for these companies, has any information, man, please get a hold of me. And let's make this happen, dude. Let's get this. The public deserves to know, and I'm just tired of all this. You know, where the heck did that material go, and why can't we reach it with the FOIAs? It's unreachable because it doesn't exist in the military anymore. It doesn't exist in the government. It's outside them. It's in the hands of a private contractor, and we want to know where it went and who's got it and who's hiding it, and just come out with the truth, bro. Like, I don't know. I'm ready for disclosure. I know a lot of people aren't, and there's a lot of people who don't want disclosure, probably fighting it. But thanks everyone who helps, and everyone who's we haven't donated any money for this chat revenue today, but that's okay. I did.
Labor Day, people were broke too,
it's
man.
It's Labor Day. Everyone's broke. It's the end of summer, man. No, you know. Well, when I come out with some good stuff, man.
You're working hard, and on your day off, man, just be good. I've got so many friends that are out of work, and I feel terrible for them.
I got more work than I know what to do with, so I'm blessed to be so busy and have so much stuff coming my way. So I'm glad. I'm going to work. I'm going to 2 jobs tomorrow. I got to finish another one in the morning and then go to another one in the afternoon. So.
We're so slow. I have off tomorrow too.
I have Patreon, but I never ever used it because I don't know. I never got really into it. So I gotta get some we're gonna get some t-shirts and some gear, and we're also gonna start selling some really cool toys, including little mini Tesla coils and little mini like zapper pens and tasers and stuff like that. We're gonna start building and selling cool little gadgets that people can buy. That would be cool. I want to order and sell those SDRs too, man, to people. And I would like to do is get an institute together where we have like a training school where people could come like take like a week course or come and teach a week course. You know, we have different people, experts on different things come in and teach, you know, stuff. That's really what I'd love, but I don't know, man.
Yeah, I'm just now plugging in my head amp that I rebuilt earlier. I can't wait to see what happens here while you're talking. Guitar jammers out there. I had to put new tubes in it.
That would be great to get a bunch of professors down and teach like a course, and then have I'd like to get an interactive course, man. You know, because look at Corey Good. He set up that thing and charged people like fucking hundreds of dollars to come to his Ascension course to teach them, you know, who knows what. And Nassim Harriman does like the same thing with his resonance project, and the emissary program. You know, I got to start something like that where we start like, you know, people go to like we start a school and people can go and sign up for like a 1-week course and come and like really learn the physics and the math and get into detail and all this shit, and they can have access to like real, you know, the right people, because there's people that want to learn this stuff but just don't have access to the right people and the right information, and they're, you know, if they come to a 1-week course where they can ask any question and have hands-on access to any of this shit, that would be fucking amazing. You know what I mean? I'm sure there's people out there that would pay hundreds of dollars for that. If there's people paying fucking Corey Good hundreds of dollars to learn about space chickens, dude, there's gotta be someone who will pay me. You know?
Jeremy, that's one thing. You've always been able to explain the science to me relatively easy, you know?
Right. We could break down all this shit and teach.
And you've always explained the science to me relatively easy with the way you do it, Yeah, absolutely. That's an excellent idea.
Right. There's people that will send their kids to school. Like, oh, you don't go to college, or before you go to college in September, go friggin' take a summer course, friggin' and learn about some of this shit. That'd be cool.
I mean, there is no doubt about it. That's an excellent idea, man.
Yeah. UFO school, dude.
Huh?
UFO school.
Literally, I mean, because the science is what's going to get it there. And we have enough people now that are at a young age that they can do this.
Right. The science is going to lead disclosure. We don't need the government to disclose or declassify anything. All we need is the next generation of kids out there to learn this shit and build it.
All right, my amp's working. Awesome.
Right?
Yeah, bro. Yes.
Hell yeah. Average watch time is only 8 minutes, man. People are just clicking on and clicking right off.
That's
fuck them. I love the real. Thank you, Dave Gould. Thank you, Gray Troll. Thank you, Renee. All my hardcore fans out there. Beam me up, Mr. Scotty. Thank you guys. It's always nice having you in the crowd, and enjoy your input and
on there, man.
and everyone else too that I forgot. Thank you too, and props. We're doing this. Disclosure is here. 2020, baby.
Coming, man.
It's coming, man. It's coming. Stay real.
And I feel it in my brain like every day.
I do too, man. It's like exponential. There's more shit coming out every day. It's like it's only a matter of time, bro. Stay real.
Yeah, just stay in there, Jeremy.
Hang it.